and you Blitz film review, he has that ability to. Trust me, he definitely does. Just his ability to catch balls outside of his frame, his leaping ability, his ability to hang in the air, his yak ability. It's all there. Lowers his helmet, low man wins, bang, rocks a guy.
Hall running free, Brees Hall inside the 10, he's gonna score!
The corners all do their job. You know, if you look at the picture right here, lock.
3rd and 1. Stevens always drilled. What a great defensive play.
I don't try to Monday morning quarterback any of the reviews I do, and I'll try to be honest with a lot of those things I put up. And you are listening to another edition of Blewett Blitz. Happy to be back. It's been I don't know, about 2.5 weeks since I spoke to you guys. Sorry for the absence, but I had some work going on at my house and was not conducive to doing streams or doing film or anything like that. Some construction. We're all done now. 2.5 weeks. Happy to be back with much better audio, with much better video. Updated room a little bit. I'll figure it out. Somebody told me that the green might be a little bit too much green. So now I have this little sign. Where is it? This little sign back here that changes colors. That's on you guys though. If you want to change colors, it changes colors. If you don't want to change colors and flash white, it flashes white. If you want it to be green, you tell me, guys. You tell me. It'll be green. You know, it's all on you guys. So happy to be back. I wrote down some notes of all of the bullshit that happened the last 2.5 weeks with the Jets. I don't know if it's NFL football or if it's fucking Jersey Shore or Lifetime or Hallmark or one of these other channels, because it doesn't seem like it. Not only with the Jets, you got Sean McDermott, like, I don't know, wanting to be a part of Al-Qaeda or whatever the fuck he's doing over there. It's been quite wild, but I'm happy to be back with you guys. So I'm going to figure out some technical things too, because I got a lot of different technology on my side now. So if anything is wrong, I legitimately want you guys to tell me, like audio too loud, audio too low, because I can change all that stuff. I also have some sound bites now. I can't hear them personally. I hope you guys can hear that. Let me know if you can hear this. Hold on. Can you guys hear that? Let me know if you can hear that, because if not, there's a problem. I still got to figure out some minor things with like the intro and stuff. But let's say hello to some people. I missed you guys. Legitimately, I do. I miss you guys. I miss Kyle. Haven't spoken to Kyle at least face to face about football in quite a bit now. So I'm lacking a little bit. So let's get back into it. RJ says Joe has been reluctant to stream about this dog shit team the past couple of weeks, and while that's sort of true. You know, going through the losing and all that stuff, I never really thought we'd be back at the level of the 2020 Gase Jets, but this is almost kind of worse because we legitimately expected a Super Bowl prior to, and now not only are we crumbling, but we're becoming, at least in some aspects, a circus between all this shit that's been happening this last couple of weeks. Which, let me get into my notes, because if I start talking about one thing, it's going to turn into 10, and I'm going to forget a bunch of stuff. So I'm just going to read like verbatim the things I wrote down, because it's like crazy when you actually listed out all the stuff that's happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I'll get to that. But yeah, streaming during wins and talking about football during wins is definitely more fun. But no, it was not because I was reluctant to stream. Now, maybe if they were, you know, I don't know what is the record right now? Are they 4-8? Yeah, I think they're 4-8. You know, if they were 8-4, would I have found a way? Maybe I would have. I don't know. That's not the world we live in. James says, I think I have to lower this a little bit. Yeah, I think that's good. I might get off a StreamYard eventually too, but we'll see. Okay, so I don't even have to watch this live stream to know. Yes, they should be. They should, because can anyone in their right mind think that this GM and this coaching staff is ever going to lead this team to the promised land? Yeah, you know, and it's such a long topic and stuff. Really the short of it is, if Rodgers wants those guys here, they sold out to get Rodgers. They're coming back this year. You know, do I see Salah gone? Maybe. Probably not, though, because Rodgers likes him. Do I see Douglas gone? No, because Rodgers likes him. I think realistically what you're looking at is a 1-year thing, maybe 2-year thing. You go balls to the wall for the championship. If the Jets don't win at least a playoff game or two next year, they're probably all gone. you probably see more minor firings, in it, whether it be probably not the defensive side of the ball, but the offensive side of the ball. People are talking about on Twitter, which I have not been on the internet at all. So a lot of these takes for me pretty fresh because I've been listening to nothing. Like when the Jets lose, it makes me not want to watch any football. So I have really I've started I have started pushing myself away from the NFL in terms of watching other games, in terms of going on Twitter, reading Jets stuff, being on Twitter and being active and seeing what's going on. It's pretty fresh. So I don't know what other people are saying, but we're gonna figure it out. We got 2 hours to talk about it, or I got 2 hours to talk about it with you guys. But yeah, if it goes bad next year, they will. I don't think they're going to do it this year because Rodgers signed off, and we'll talk about quarterback and all that stuff in the draft. And there's so many different options in the draft between trading back and do you just take Marvin Harrison? Do you trade down and get picks? Do you get tackles? Do you trade down with a team who wants to trade up? Do you trade down with the Raiders for Devontae? There's so many different options now that you're looking at the draft that we'll explore in the coming months. And I actually just got film, or I don't know if I got the film yet, but I requested it, which means it's going to come soon. I got film of, I'm going to forget all their names, but the alts from Notre Dame. There's another tackle, Fashanu or whatever his name is. I got Bowers. I got Harrison. And I think I got the third tackle. I forget where the third tackle's from that everybody's talking about. Maybe, is it Bama? I forget where the guy's name is from Bama. But I plan on doing some of those reviews and getting them at least kind of cooked and then ready to release in the offseason. And I think I also have like an interesting kind of really cool collab type of thing coming on in the summer or in the off-season months as well. It's not gonna be on this channel, but I'm gonna be kind of working with somebody else. You'll see. Super chat. I'm gonna try this out, by the way. I am trying sound bites. If you guys hate sound bites, let me know. I'm not gonna overdo it. I'm a little bit excited about it now, but I think for these super chats, did that work? I hope that worked. I don't know if it worked, but hopefully it did. But I appreciate the super chat, Jan. Good to have you back. I'm glad to be back. I wish it was at better circumstances. I think last week the 13-8 victory, or the 18-8 defeat, was probably the last straw where it was most likely over even weeks ago, but that was the one where okay, it's not like possible we get to the playoffs at this point. I guess it is at 9-8, but what are the chances? So the season's kind of officially done. Going to the stadium, you kind of knew it. Tim Boyle, we knew what he was going to be. His best season ever, in college and the NFL is 11 touchdowns and 13 picks. So we didn't think he was going to play well, especially behind a bad offensive line, a terrible OC, and receivers who can't get open minus Garrett Wilson. It was probably not going to be good, and it was not good. I still showed up there at 8 o'clock in the morning and played cornhole in the freezing fucking rain. But that might be my last one for the year. I think it's supposed to rain this week. I don't think I'm going. And then Christmas Eve, I got to work. So I think Jets games are done for me this year, unfortunately, but is what it is. But Jan, I appreciate you very much. And you know that. Let's keep going down the chat. Yes, they all have to next year win, lose, or draw. They all need to go in 2024. The Jets' record will not improve. It will improve if Rodgers is here. I know you know that, Chris. They're not going to blow it up, Hackett and Salah and all these guys, because Rodgers is kind of like running the organization for right now, and it's kind of fucked up to say, but he is, if he goes to Woody, or if he goes to management, says, I want Salah fired, I want Ben Johnson here, they'll go for Ben Johnson. It's at such a bad place right now. They're all going to have 2024. Like I said, you might see Downing and Keith Carter, fired at this point, because look at Keith Carter. Look how many freaking offensive line injuries we've had, and it's not even in game. And people are starting to kind of bring this up now. It's, Wes Schweitzer just got injured in practice. I believe Carter Warren just got injured in practice. And then you had multiple other, I can't think of them on the top of my head, especially this year. You just kind of you push the Jets so far away from you, but there's been at least another one or two during practice, not even in game, not even a game. We're talking about practice injuries with Keith Carter. So is he running them too hard? And you get the question of, and I think we just put it on JetX, or maybe some of the JetX people talked about it on Twitter, but you heard Taylor Lewan in the offseason talking about how Keith Carter ran his guys too hard. And now you're seeing a bunch of these injuries in practice. Is it Keith Carter? I don't know. They had a bunch of injuries in Tennessee with their offensive line the last couple of years too. So is he running these guys too hard? So could he get the axe? Most likely you're going to have to see some type of scapegoats. But if Rodgers doesn't want to be Hackett or Salah, it's not going to be one of those guys, realistically. Simon, agree. I've seen enough of year 5 for Douglas, year 3 for Salah, and the dumpster fires we've seen this year and the running of the organization. And it's not even things that we have to really rehash, right? Can I call you Matt? I'm going to call you Matt. Matt, or Simon. I never know. Yeah, it's with Douglas. We don't have to rehash it. It's the tackle thing. It's the backup quarterback thing. It's the receiver thing. We've been talking about it since, again, May. And I repeated it 1,000 times since then. So do we really have to go over it? Douglas really screwed the pooch this offseason, and most of his off seasons in terms of free agency have been brutal. And it wasn't a thing where, I could be more, compassionate towards him if I kind of agreed with some of his moves. But, when you watch some of the guys that he's picking up in free agency and you're seeing the contracts he's signing them to, sometimes it's indefensible. Barrios, even when he signed Barrios last year for the money he did, we were like, why that much money for Barrios? Like in Tomlinson, Uzama, Whitehead, Lazard. And Lazard was a Rodgers tax, and okay, whatever it is, what it is. Cook, abysmal signing, abysmal. But yeah, like he's had some good UDFA pickups and waiver wires. Obviously, Quincy Williams, Huff, we know all those, JFM, the draft guys, MC2 and all that. But his free agency and some of his like doubling down on his guys has been pretty brutal. Let me lower this one light. I got like so many freaking attachments here now. I got a little TV. I can only touch my TV. So if like the Devils are on or something like that, I can play them, or we can maybe like live stream games. But why the fuck would anybody want to do that? Because I'm a pretty miserable prick during the games. You don't need to see that. They need to start off with Woody, Zach, and Rodgers in terms of firing. Obviously, Woody's never going to get fired. And like really, I think Woody gets probably too much heat from people at times. But this year, he has not helped himself with the whole season ticket thing early. That really pissed me off because listen, and maybe I'm an idiot, but they kind of have me by the balls a little bit because my buddies go to the games. They have season tickets, and if I don't get season tickets with them, where the hell am I going to sit? So I'm going to buy season tickets with them, and then the 5, I'll go to 5 or 6 of the games. The 2 or 3 I don't go to, okay, I'll sell them. But like I already put $400 in the Jets pocket, and it's still the season that I'm watching. And it still sucks. And it's not even fun to watch Jets football. Like the last couple of, let's see, I wrote this down at least. The last 6 weeks of Jets football, and this isn't even including the defense scoring some of these points. 13 points, 6 points, 12 points, 6 points, 13 points, 8 points, which we knew 2 of those were off of safety in the last 6 weeks. That's 58 total points and 56 because I know at least one of those was a safety. You're averaging under 10 points a game in the NFL in 2023. It's embarrassing. It's legitimately embarrassing. And there's stats on the phone, and I'll I guess I can read these as well, because why not, since we're talking about piss poor offensive football. And again, consider that when I'm about to read these numbers from the 2020 Jets, or the 2020 Jets, which were the Adam Gase Jets, led by fucking Andre Roberts and a bunch of scrubs on the offensive line, and I don't even know, Chad Hansen, just a terrible team. So the first stat I'm going to read is the 2020 team. The second stat I'm going to read is the 2023 team, okay? Points, 180 to 171. First downs, 201 to 173 this year. Again, second one is this year. Yards in 2020, 3.322. In 2023, 3.121. Pass, 2043. This year, 2032. Rush, 1279. This year, 1089. We are a worse offense than what we thought was going to be the absolute worst team we've ever saw in our entire lives. A team that was legitimately threatening to win 0 games. And we're here with Breece Hall, with Garrett Wilson, with even guys like AVT and Becton we didn't have on the offensive line. And obviously AVT went down and stuff, but it's just kind of speaking to expectations while healthy, and obviously shit goes wrong and stuff. But woof. Absolutely woof. It's been bad. But let's keep going to the chat. I don't know if you guys can hear the this again, but I'm gonna do it again. Let's see. Click the button. Did it work? I still don't know because I can't hear it. you guys might be like, stop the fucking sound bites. Swiss Pete says, hi Joe, longtime viewer and Jets X Factor subscriber, so definitely appreciate your work. What do you think of Mekhi Becton, Tomlinson, Tippmann, Max Mitchell, Carter Warren combo Sunday? One thing I'm going to do too, by the way, I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'm going to hit the mute button a couple times. A cough, just ignore that. Again, it's going to kill me a little bit because I can't drink water and stuff because there's no co-host. But thoughts on Max Mitchell at right guard? He already played right guard that was at least a game, right? And it didn't go very well because Max Mitchell is a guy who struggles with power at tackle. Putting him now at guard, you're obviously facing bigger guys who are are not, I'm not even saying more aggressive, but you're talking about 320-pound guys, 300-pound guys versus 240-pound guys, 250-pound guys, 260, 270 even. What is more conducive to a guy who is not as strong as maybe he needs to be? Maybe playing him at tackle. But with that being said, and again, just transparency, because I have not been paying attention at all. I know that Carter Warren started at right tackle last week. Was that because Max Mitchell was benched, or was Max Mitchell hurt last week? So that's why they started Warren. That's a legitimate question, because I don't know. I have not been keeping up with the Jets, which is terrible to say, but I have you guys to rely on for a little shit like that. So was he benched or not? And even if he's not benched, okay, like, you know, if this was a game, again, we're 8-4 and this situation came up, okay, maybe I'm saying a Saffold, maybe I'm saying somebody else. But at the end of the day, what does playing Saffold right now at right guard really do for you in the long term? He's going to be gone next year. So if you think that, and clearly they do, think that Max Mitchell is a guy who could play a little bit of, you know, guard and tackle, which I don't necessarily agree with, but if they think that, fine. So why not get him some experience at right guard, because he's somebody on your roster who's going to be here next year and can actually, you know, be playing meaningful snaps next year. So I would say maybe it's not the best for the actual play of the offensive line, but right now it's about development. It's about playing the young guys. You know, when we're getting blown out, you know, maybe this week, next week, whatever, maybe can we get Izzy some touches? You know, they talk about Dalvin Cook not knowing the pass blocking scheme, but at least he tries. At least Izzy would try. You know, go watch the review. The review came out of this of the offensive woes this week, and you have Dalvin Cook who's barely trying to block. Why? And doesn't he get like active game bonuses? Correct me if I'm wrong. Legitimately, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he gets game bonuses. So you're playing him right now on a losing team, a guy who sucks and does not want to be here. For what reason? There's legitimately no reason. So if they continue, and especially this week, if Brees is out and they continue to run Cook, and you barely see Izzy, for purpose bad English here. For why? What is Dalvin Cook running for you, getting 2.5 yards per carry right now do for your team in the long term? Let's evaluate Izzy. You know, but yeah, long form answer there. I appreciate the super chat again. Okay, let's see. Getting back, pick 2 is ours again. Yeah, and like at this point, I gotta change. Okay, never mind. I'm getting sidetracked. There's people, and I'm never going to tell anybody how to root, because realistic of it right now, if I could pick at this very moment, Jets win or lose Sunday, I'm signing the dot line for loss. I'm sorry. My brain says that as soon as 1:00 hits on Sunday, just like most of you guys, I'll probably be rooting for it. You know, I'll probably be rooting for the Jets. But realistically, yeah, wins don't do much. Now I can understand the argument of, you know, some of the guys need wins, you know, the Garrett Wilsons, the Sauces, the JJs, Huffs, whatever. They need to learn how to win and they need to get that confidence. I understand that. But is that worth, you know, going from pick 2 where you can get a king's ransom for potentially one of the quarterbacks, or like even pick 3? You know, and I've been saying kind of steadfast the entire offseason, which I've kind of thought about recently because I've been thinking about the draft. You know, I've been saying, okay, if they're pick 3 or 4, you know, or even in the draft, they're definitely taking a tackle. They're definitely taking a tackle. They're definitely taking a tackle. I didn't necessarily think the Jets would be at pick 3 potentially. So then comes where you have the 2 quarterbacks, right? It's May and Williams. And then the other absolute stud is Harrison, right? And people are talking about Harrison like he's like Julio Jones coming out, Calvin Johnson type player coming out. I think I think Calvin was actually higher rated than Julio. I could be wrong. I could have switched those two. I know they're both highly rated, but one was a little bit higher than the other. But you're talking about a legitimate, and we'll see after the film, a generational receiver. So at that point, yes, you know, there's a lot of receivers in free agency at this point. You have or at least at this point, you know, until they sign contracts potentially. But you have T. Higgins, you have Mike Evans, you have the trade for Devontae, and that seems great. That could fill the hole. But if Marvin Harrison's there, 5 years of control, and he's truly generational, then okay, shit, we might have to adjust our plan a little bit. We were planning on letting go of Becton, signing another guy, and then drafting a tackle. But now that we're in the spot to draft Harrison, let's build our draft plan around Harrison. And now we're going to we were planning on signing Becton for $12 million a year. Shit, let's up that to 14. Hope he stays. You know, like they might have to adjust a little bit because of how talented Harrison is. Now, with that being said, Rodgers, is he going to sign off on a rookie receiver? You know, he has not liked to work with us in the past. Now, none of them have been Marvin Harrison, but still. NY Jets fan, super fan. NY Jets super fan. What's up, Joe? We all missed you. Yeah, I missed you guys too. Legitimately, it starts to really eat at me when I can't stream or talk to you guys or do film. Now, again, more so when they're winning, you know, or even more so when I was in Italy last year and they were losing. But it was at least early in the season where I still cared a lot. Sign is dope. Yeah, I'm gonna adjust the room a little bit. Like the sign still has to get hung. Like I gotta put that on the wall somewhere right about here. And then I'm talking with one of the listeners. There's gonna be like a Jets X Factor sign right about here. And then this is gonna get hung too. I just gotta put that on the wall. I just gotta figure out some stuff before I put permanent holes in my walls. But yeah, no, I'm trying to improve for you guys. Video looks a lot clearer. Yeah, it's definitely a lot clearer. For sure. You can see some things I don't want you guys to see maybe at this point. I'd be happy with third overall pick. Anything better than third is gravy on the biscuits. Yeah, third overall pick, you'd be happy, right? But we want 2 over 3, right? Like that's not overly complicated, because now you're talking about a massive amount of trade opportunities. Let's say they really don't want Harrison and their goal really is one of the tackles. Well, if they feel there's a bunch of tackles in the first round and, there's not much difference between guy 1 and 3 or guy 3 and 5, then maybe they're a little bit more willing to trade down and recoup a second and another second and, however much else. So, yeah, I would prefer the second. Let's root for the second. But the Jets. We all know the Jets, and I know people have said this because this is our fucking luck. And I think every one of you guys is going to know what I'm going to say right now. We're going to lose all the games. Week 18, Pats. Are we going to win that game to break the streak and get dropped from pick 2 to pick 6? Probably. I can almost guarantee it's going to happen. We're going to beat the Pats. So just pencil in a win and then start doing your things there, because that's how the Jets do it. We know the Jets hurt us the maximum possible, or the max amount of ways, and that's the one that really hurt us. It's like, yeah, great, we broke the streak, but I really would rather not, and I'd rather have this number 2 overall pick or Marvin Harrison. But Cam is Crip, Jersey Shore. Yeah, it's been bad, man. I'm gonna read them off, so let's just go through it. Again, I'm not gonna individually comment on them, because if I start to, I'm gonna get into a rant, and I'm not gonna talk to you guys. The good thing is now at this point I'm a little bit numb to the pain and to yelling and all that stuff, because why am I gonna yell? Clemens fight. Okay, that's one. Clemens fight. You guys know how I feel about that man at this point. Clemens fight. Zach getting the Bills player's nuts rubbed on his face. You guys saw that, right? The guy intentionally dragging his testicles across our quarterback's face. Zach falling down. Which, by the way, that game started with an opening punt return or an opening kick return fumble, which we all knew how was going to happen after that. Getting work just in general versus divisional opponents, 2 blowouts from divisional opponents. We have Sauce on Twitter after the Bills game, right? Which I love Sauce. I do. He's been a little bit soft in the run game. Minus this game, he's actually pretty impressive in the run game. I actually enjoyed that a lot. I think he might be hearing some of the noise. But you have Sauce immediately after the Bills game, after they got destroyed by a divisional opponent, defending himself on a touchdown, like 3 seconds after the game ended. Not a good look. You have then I also wrote this down in terms of the points. Also in terms of those points, you had 10 versus the Pats, 10 versus the Cowboys, 22 versus the Bills with a punt return, with 3 or 4 turnovers in that game. You had the whole Salah and Brees thing in the press conference where Salah is criticizing Brees, and Brees is right. And I like the way that Brees came back and said, listen, if you can't take criticism as the best player, then the younger guys or the lesser players are gonna, like he said, trying to set example, for lack of a better term, or lack of remembering what he actually said. But Salah can criticize Brees Hall, but not Cook, but not Lazard, but not Zach Wilson, but not Hackett, but Brees. Okay, we'll criticize Brees. That's fine. We have Lazard getting benched for what game was that? That was Black Friday. Was that the Dolphins game? I believe it was the Dolphins game. I could be wrong. And then he takes absolutely no accountability for sucking. You have Brees who comes out and says, yeah, I could be better, or whatever he says. And Lazard's basically like, yeah, it's a team game. It's like, no, bro, you have a fucking 20% drop rate. Why don't you start catching the ball, not giving up on routes? And I broke it down in the film. If you guys just want to go watch the film, even the 13-minute one, the guy can't even run a pick play right. He has no idea what he's doing. Lazard is awful. I wish we knew that prior to signing him. Maybe somebody should watch their film before, because clearly the Jets they don't. I don't trust their player personnel things. I really don't, because I break them down for you guys, and I'll tell you even to the season, hey, I don't think this guy's going to be very good. 7 out of 10 times I've been right with Douglas. 7 out of 10. So why is he only 3 out of 10? I don't get it. You have the Salah toothpaste commercial, which I also saw. I believe this is after the Dolphins game. What the fuck? You have Whitehead tweeting Nania, which I don't know if I recapped that last time, but guy has let up, I think, and go to Nania's article for the correct amount of stats and stuff. But I believe it was like the Jets have 12 passing touchdowns on them this year, and Whitehead is like 8 of them. Whitehead is terrible. Do not let those 3 picks fool you. 2 of them were gifted. 1 was nice. The pick versus the What was the last breakdown down I did? The Chargers. It was the Chargers or the Raiders. A really nice one. But 2 nice picks do not make up for plenty of missed tackles and plenty of given up touchdowns. Another touchdown given up this week in what I believe was quarters coverage, and it was pretty well defined that the guy inside the number 2 was supposed to be his man. Just lets him get behind him for a touchdown. Barely even tries to deflect the ball. Okay. So that's like 14,000 things that have gone wrong. And then you have Saleh come out in the media and say he's going to redshirt. The plan was to redshirt Zach. I don't even have to describe how stupid that is, right? We don't have to talk about that. 40-year-old quarterback, injured offensive line, and just in general, 40-year-old quarterback, 39-year-old quarterback. And even if he was 25 years old in a Super Bowl or bust season, not having a backup quarterback to me is a crime. And people are like, oh, well, the Bengals have, Browning. Well, he's fucking throwing 4 touchdowns. So if your plan was to redshirt him, then maybe bring in a guy who's actually capable. I don't know. That seems pretty logical. Then they bench him for Boyle, who they know sucks ass. Everybody knows who sucks ass. Maybe the Jets don't because their talent evaluation is not that good. But Boyle sucks ass. He goes into the game, he sucks ass, and then we cut him, and because we didn't know he sucked ass, I guess you're opening up a spot for whoever just signed. What the hell's his name? We played him against the Broncos. Already blanking on his name. Even though I think it will be Zach for the rest of the year. But you cut a guy who sucked. So what was he here for? To hold Aaron Rodgers' balls the entire offseason. I guess because Aaron Rodgers liked him, so he was here for nothing. He goes in, sucks. And then Simeon goes like 5 for 12, 5 for 13, whatever it was. He gets a quarter, and then he's benching and Zach again. So why is Simeon here? Boyle gets 2 games, Simeon gets a quarter. Just nothing makes sense. I don't understand. And now you have this whole thing, which I'm not even going to try to dive into. I'm really not. Wilson denies wanting to play. And then, Saleh says he doesn't. And then Rodgers reaches out to Wilson. And then, Rodgers comes out and he doesn't refute necessarily that he didn't go up to Wilson, but he was pissed about the leak. Was the leak Tim Boyle? Like, this is fucking Jersey Shore. Can't we just suck in peace? Like, why? Now, what I really think happened was Zach was probably joking around with Tim Boyle because Tim. I don't know if you guys remember, but I said Tim Boyle. Like, I feel like he's an asshole. Just like interviews and stuff, I just got that vibe from him. Was he the leak? Was he talking like to Tim Boyle on the sideline? Like, yeah, bro, I wouldn't want to play behind this offensive line. And, was it something like passive like that? Most likely, it's something like probably like, oh shit, this offensive line, I don't want to get hurt. And then Boyle leaked that, and now that was Zach not wanting to play. I don't think Zach doesn't want to play. I think it was probably a passive comment. Now, if that is true, if he does not want to play, and I get that there's people who are going to take the argument of, oh well, he's he doesn't want to hurt. He doesn't want to hurt his stock for next year. What stock? What stock? Can he get better? What can he do? What can he do worse than he's done the last 2 years? What stock could he hurt? So there is no stock to hurt. And in terms of injury, if that's the real reason, then he's just a bitch. But past that, if that was legitimately true where he denied the Jets, you know how bad that is for his NFL career? That did not happen. I can almost guarantee it did not happen. It was more of a passive comment like, shit, I wouldn't want to play. And again, for the people who are going to say, oh, I agree with him, I couldn't disagree with you more. He's making millions of dollars. Who's going to want to bring in a guy who, so what does he have to go to the Niners or the Eagles, places he's going to want to play? He can't go to the, what happens if the Pats want to sign him? They suck a little bit, even though Bailey Zappi just put up 3 touchdowns. What about I don't know, whoever else sucks? The Bucks or something like that. Is he not going to want to play with those guys? Can he only play with good teams now? I don't know. So, yeah, brutal. Oh, and then to top it off, by the way, and I'm still going on here because these are all the shit that's happened the last 2 weeks. It's ridiculous. Then you have the Salah Beningo thing, which I am glad to say, I'm glad to personally attest, raise my right hand that I have listened to all of 4 minutes of Joe Beningo. And it's only because it comes across my Twitter in clips, and that's it. And I'll click on it, like, oh, fuck that. So, like, accumulated of like 2 seconds click off, 2 seconds click off. It's probably been about 4 minutes of my life I've heard his voice. What a joke, dude. That guy is a joke. WFAN is a joke with that bald-headed Sean Rash fuck, with Beningo, with all these scrubs. Why do people listen to these motherfuckers? Why? And then you see all this shit, and then I'll go online, like, I'll see all these smart people who follow them. What does Beningo offer? I don't understand. Literally, I'd rather listen to silence while I'm driving. Don't listen to that shit, please. We'll do, obviously I'm not going to tell you what to do, but Jesus, dude. I hope nobody ever gives him an interview again. That's my personal opinion. But we're going to keep moving on. And if you guys want to talk about them individually, I will. But if I dove into all those topics, I would be here forever. I'm only doing it until 7. So Ben Johnson, Kellen Moore are bust. I would want to look at the Chargers offense this year and see exactly how they've produced versus their pass and stuff like that with Moore. Past that with Ben Johnson, cool with it. Again, I would like to individually evaluate, but he's a hot name. Some people are talking about Bieniemy because he's been doing pretty well with Sam Howell there, which I understand. I still don't like. Even Bieniemy, he has to prove it to me for more than 1 year, right? I'm a big show me year 2 guy, whether it be in coaching, rookies, show me year 2. If it's a breakout player in year 6, show me year 7. I'm all about the second year of producing. So Bieniemy year 1, okay, give me more than that. I would throw another name out there, Todd Monken. He's the OC for the Ravens. They're rolling over there. I liked him a lot with the Bucs evaluating his offense. That was one of the guys who I did evaluate when we were going to when we hired Adam Gase. I wanted Monken, or I wanted Rule, which would have been a mistake as well. And I think it was Matt Campbell from Iowa State. But I would throw Todd Monken's name into there. As well. Now, do I think it's going to happen next year? I don't. Is this another one? Oh, hold on. All right. Blitz Crew, $2 super chat. Appreciate it. Thoughts on Warren, possible long-term starter? So again, the last couple of weeks I have been MIA. The last game, I don't think he was out of place. I don't think he was good, but relative to expectations, which is very, very key comment. That's key to categorize. Relative to expectations, my expectations were not high. I did not think he was bad. I thought he was okay for what I imagined he would be. Again, with that being said, I did not like his college film. I think he's a little bit soft. I think he's a little bit overrated. But yeah, he could be. I'm not going to say he can't be. If you were making me Blitz Crew, $100 on the line right now, is he going to be a future long-term starter, like a plus starter, even average starter? I would say no. That's just my opinion. Could he be? Yes. I'd be lying if I said he couldn't be. And he didn't look out of place. I thought he might look a little bit worse than he did. And yeah, he had a few really bad plays, the sack given up at the end of the game, obviously, which was also poorly blocked by Cook as well. But yeah, he wasn't brutal. I don't know. But if I had to be honest with you, or which I am, right? Okay. Okay. Oh, you guys can hear the sound bites. So I'll play the other one. Let's see. I'm going to add more, by the way. This one is my favorite because the context of the video, if you guys don't know what this one is, sorry, I'll play it and I'll talk.
Quarterback.
Love that one.
You blew it.
That's obvious, right? You guys heard the money one. I got 3 more. I think I'm going to change them. I'm going to play them all now. I could do some cool stuff here. I'm going completely off track.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy.
That one's a little bit too long. I got this one.
What the hell is even that?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And then I could do some other stuff like this, which I'll never really do. But I
believe right now I sound like a very large robot. That's at least what it says. I have
Monster? I don't know if that sounds any different.
But yeah, I got a few things to play with. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun. I'm not gonna overdo it, but I'm a little bit excited about it right now. So okay. What was Sean McDermott thinking? I have no idea. That is some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard of in my life. Now, like, again, context matters. If it was a situation where like he was, I don't know, like drunk or something like that and said it, like, okay, maybe I understand more, but like, a team speech has to be a little bit like premeditated. Like he's thinking about that. You could have used, there's a ton of examples, the USA team versus Russia. You could do maybe the firefighters in 9/11, maybe the police officers in 9/11. I don't know. Maybe something like that. The terrorist team. What? That was the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. That was the worst thing I've ever heard. Or I guess we didn't technically hear it, right? But dude, that guy's getting fired. You got to fight. Not specifically for that comment, but that baked on top of the fact that they're 6-6 this year. He's gone. Edible the things you should add. You need a flying checking coming across the screen. Edible the things you should add. Flying, like you're talking like a chicken, like Ryan. Ryan helped me out a lot. He helped me with like all of this, but no, I don't know how to do the chickens. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. This is probably where we'll sit. This is maybe a little bit of upgrades, but like we got a TV in here now. Like look at this. I'll grab the camera. Got a little TV sitting up here. We're all ready. We're all ready to stream. We're all ready to at least I'm not sitting in a room with a fan going and with a AC unit behind me now, right? Like we're doing a little bit better here, which I never really cared about. But then I realized, like, yeah, this kind of looks like shit, looking at my stuff. But let's go. Yeah, we can hear. Okay, perfect. Top 5 is good for us. Two left tackles and Harrison will be there. Harrison will not be there at 5. I can almost guarantee that. Harrison will be gone at 3. If some quarterback shoots up the board, the latest 4, but I severely doubt Harrison will be there at 5. Severely. I'm not saying you're 100% wrong, but I'm saying you're 99.9% wrong. Maybe I don't know. I severely doubt it with how highly he's hyped that he would be gone. Sound bites are lit. Yeah. It's the little shit. It's the little shit that makes people happy. The Wapa one is my favorite. Which if you guys don't look up the Surfer Bro video, that's all it is. Like Surfer Bro, smack the lip, Wapa. I fucking love that. Very nice sound bites. That's okay. Glad I caught you live. What's up, Harlan? Joe. Yeah, let's get into the chat. Matthias? Is it Matthias? No. You watch Jake Asham's Film Guy, Andrew Flacco. I have not. I'll be honest. I haven't. I've absorbed zero Jets content, minus like seeing Nani and some other stuff on Twitter, but I have not. And I'm not saying with him because I've never seen him. I don't know how to phrase this. There are certain people who I really, really respect, and there are other people who I don't. I think for film guys, I think it's easy to appease the general public and make it seem like you know what you're talking about if you just project like confidence. You say some words people don't know, but a lot of people don't know as much as you think they do. I'll just be legit. I'm not even saying I know everything because like Coach Vass can come on here and he would school me. But there are some people to be wary of them. Again, I'm not saying that guy because I've legitimately I have not seen it. But they're out there. I'm here for the show. What's up, Dakota? I'm a fan of Douglas, but this stuff is getting harder and harder to defend each week. I wouldn't mind giving Douglas another shot at head coach, but Solid JD, he needs to be tied at the hip at this point. Beloved piece. There's been too many mistakes, dude. The quarterback situation this year is a massive mistake. The rookie OC, rookie head coach, no tight ends, rookie QB in year 1 was terrible. The Uzama signing was bad. The Barrio signing was bad. The Cook signing was bad. It's like, yeah, you have a few good moves. The draft, I think the draft people are probably a little bit too harsh because I think people act like almost every single pick is supposed to hit when in reality, now obviously it's different hit percentage in the first round versus 7th round, but overall, it's like a 25% hit rate, 30% hit rate. And obviously there's hits from superstars to a role player. But it's not as high as people think it is. Like if you go through all the other teams drafts, it's not as good as you think they are. You said the 49ers were a great franchise draft Trey Lance, and he was a complete bust. They drafted Solomon Thomas. He was a complete bust for them. Like they're plenty of good teams take shitty players. It just happens, but it's all the other stuff. It's the overpaying contracts. It's, we almost got this guy. Well, sometimes you got to overpay a little bit, which I still think is complete bullshit with the New York tax thing. But yeah, Douglas is a C+ guy at this point. C+. And, I went down from B- to C+. I'm a little bit more negative now, but I said it even a couple of weeks ago, C+, B-, realistically, and he might seem like an A because we've been used to Ds. Now, with that being said, if he was a B guy, a B+ guy, okay, give him another coach. But he's a C+ guy. I'm not doubling down on a C+ guy. Jets need to revamp the staff on for the offensive side of the ball. Yeah, that's no shit. Right, Harlan? No shit. If Harrison Jr. is there when we were picking, in my opinion, there's nothing to consider. You write down Harrison. The thing is, though, because they're so early, I think that adjusts your draft plans. Again, if you're at the 3rd pick and okay, we're picking him, then okay, we had to overpay a little bit for tackle because we thought we'd be at pick 9 and we could pick one of the 4 tackles, whatever. Maybe I've seen anywhere from like 7 to 10 tackles in the 1st round right now projected, but we got to worry about the top 5. But yeah. 38 watching and only 12 likes. Hit the like button, folks. Yeah, I saw we went up a couple of subscribers. It would be really nice to get to 10K. I've been at like 8.6 to 8.8 for like 4 months. Maybe that's speaking to how much I suck, but maybe that'll help. I don't know. Man, you guys lit up the chat. Okay. I don't think, at least for me, I don't think drafting a QB or trading down is realistic. This regime knows if they don't win next year, they're gone. well, trading down. Why would trading down not be realistic? Because you could trade down and then acquire more second round picks. If you could trade down from pick 4 and you have, let's say their number 1 tackle is Alt, and let's just give Alt a 9.0 grade, and then their 4th tackle is Fashanu, whatever his name is, and he's an 8.8. Is the difference between 0.2 really not worth another second round pick where you can get, I don't know, a strong safety or a receiver, or let's just get every single tackle in the draft or every single guard in the draft? But yeah, trading down would be fine. It's not about not winning this year. Now, for the people, RJ, who say, we'll draft a quarterback, I vehemently disagree they'll do that. Vehemently. Woody has seen so many quarterbacks fail that he's not going to want to go half in, half out. You don't go half in and half out. You don't pussyfoot this. Excuse my French. You don't do that. You go all out. You think Rodgers, after coming here, is part of the reason he was mad with the Packers was that they drafted a quarterback. Now, after getting him, we're going to say, yeah, we're going to draft the quarterback to sit behind you for a year or two. It's not going to happen. They're going all out. They better go all out. And I get it. Like, okay, well, maybe we'll have the quarterback and all that shit. But also, with that being said, why the fuck do we want Joe Douglas and Saleh to develop this quarterback? Why do they deserve another chance? You go all in. That's my opinion. Now, I'm not saying blow up future years for this draft and all that stuff. I think they have to kind of stay within their confines. But I do not want to hand these guys another quarterback on top of pissing Aaron Rodgers off. And what if Marvin Harrison Jr. was the difference between winning the Super Bowl and just making, and again, context and like losing the divisional round? It could be one catch. It could be one drop. That's the difference between the Super Bowl and losing in the wild card, so you can trade down and still do plenty of damage this year. Penn State tackle is awesome. Yeah, again, I forget all the names, but I know there's Alt, there's the Penn State guy, there's the Bama guy, there's the Oregon State guy. Those are the top 4 or 5. And again, I'm getting film, and then I'll do breakdowns and stuff like that, and they'll be cooked. Baby coming in about 6 weeks from now, so I'll be a little bit busy. So I'm gonna try to attack it now. JC Latham. Okay, yeah, so that's the tackle from Bama, right? From Bama, right? Okay. What's up, Joe? Are you pro tank digging the new setup? Camera is crystal clear. Yeah, the camera is 1080p. It's like literally as clear as I can get. Now, the only thing with the camera is sometimes it running at this high of quality, it might make me lag sometimes. If I'm ever lagging, I can change it a little bit and then we'll cut down the camera time. But I seem to be doing pretty well as right now. So I seem to be doing pretty well. What's your opinion on getting a Q? Okay, yeah, in the draft. Personally, I wish you kept Zach as a third string to give him a proper redshirt year. Yeah. Or you're talking about next year. We could keep Zach. No, it's not going to happen. With all the damage and stuff done this year, you just get rid of him. You develop another guy. You bring in a whoever's going to be out there, a Gardner Minshew, a Brissett, whatever it's going to be. And now if you draft a guy in the 4th round this year, I'm cool with that. I'm okay with them developing a 4th round guy, because if you miss on a 4th round guy, you miss on a 4th round guy. But that 4th round guy could also be, I don't know, hopefully Dak Prescott or something like that. I think Dak was he a 4th? A 3rd? Mississippi State, right? Or something like that. I could be wrong. I don't know if he's a 4th, but something like that. Yeah, I'll be okay with taking a guy like the 4th or 5th round. But Dakota, you are here. Probably the O-line coach. It's all horrific. Yeah, your review of Cook's pass block rep, if you can call it, that was funny. Maybe he'll feel bad for me and just stop rushing. Yeah, dude. RJ, I'm not sure if you were here when I said that a double amputee is a better blocker than who was it? Buck. I think it was not Wesley Johnson. I forget who it was. Oh, it was Greg Van Roten. Well, I think he's actually doing pretty well with the Raiders right now, even though it's PFF, so he's probably been playing pretty bad. JD has done some good things with this offseason, aside from getting Rodgers, has been abysmal. He is stubborn in seams. He isn't willing to change or adjust in this offseason. Yeah, you had a team who came off of how many embarrassing losses at the end of the year, and they pretty much replaced guys in the roster, threw Rodgers into the mix, and said, "Fuck it. Hopefully that helps." Was Rodgers just enough last year? No. Again, I think they have a really good roster to a certain extent, but they didn't do enough at tackle. Didn't do enough at receiver. There's no excuses for what they did at tackle and receiver, in my opinion. None. And people say, "Oh, look, all the other tackles get injured in the NFL." Yeah, I understand that, but Becton was injured for the 2 prior years. It's not like he was a normal guy who he just got injured. It's just the luck of the draw. You would have to bet on him not getting injured. He hasn't been so injured, so you got lucky there. Now, same thing with Brown. 37, 38 years old, injured last year. Fuck it. He'll work this year again. No contingency plan. a fourth round tackle who was injured and raw, in my opinion. I know people say he was pro ready. Bullshit. But, Arizona beats the Bears. Jets lose out. They get the second pick. That's all it takes. Okay. Now, if they beat the Bears, is that because of strength of schedule, Joe? Or is that because they just need to win? Like, can Arizona beat I don't know, the Rams? Does it matter? I don't know. But the Jets they'll get enough to do the second pick. And then that last week, they're going to win. They're going to win on some crazy fucking play at the end of the game. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. This Jets offense is at an all-time low. And the funny thing is, blow it piece, it's not even, that's not hyperbole. At the beginning of the season, it was okay. They're moving the ball between the 20s. Great. We can never do that. But now it's not even, we can't even move the ball. We can't get first downs. We're talking about 2 for 15 on third down last week, or 3 for 15 or whatever it was. We're literally, I think what was the other stat? There was another stat I have on my phone. I think it was like we're the lowest. So basically there's a stat, it's EPA, it's like it's expected per average or something like that, like expected yards per play. And the Jets are the lowest since they've been tracking it since 2000. So it's not even saying they were not worse than some of the 1980s team. They were lucky that they've only been tracking EPA since 2000, but we're the worst. The worst. In an offense with Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, 2 guys who are top 10 at their position, in my opinion. Run game's been so disappointing. Yeah, it's hard to evaluate some of those guys with 40,000 guys in the box. Bring back Adam Gase and his team. Hey, bring back Adam Gase for the first drive. At least we scored touchdowns the first drive of games, right? You need the Vince Lombardi where he says, "What the hell is going on around here?" Yeah, no, this.
What the hell is even that?
That one with context matters. Ryan didn't know the context of that. If you don't know, you don't know. But just YouTube Daddy Chill, and you'll understand the context of that one because that video kills me. So that's why I have that one. That's because that's a personal favorite, which it's my show. But yeah, I'm taking. I want to replace a few of them. I think I want to replace Hello Darkness and the You're Crazy. They're a little bit too long. So 2 are up for grabs. Find me two that you guys want. Okay. Being a New York Jets fan, yeah, and it's not easy going to the games either, man. Going to Dallas, I've been going for pretty consistently for 10 years now. I went to the last game. I knew they were going to lose. Like they're going to lose on the tailgate, but the tailgate's fun. As soon as you pack up the bus and start walking into the game, it's like, okay, this is going to be terrible. It's going to be awful, and it was. It never disappoints. Cook doesn't look like he's going 100% on all snaps. That's 100% true. I have the play I brought up, Swiss Pete's, which I haven't seen your name before here. So if you're new, welcome. But I brought up a play a couple of streams ago, or maybe a month or 2 ago, of him literally running out of bounds. He runs out of bounds. There's a lane, and he just runs out of bounds. Bo Nix, that's another quarterback, right? It's like Bo Nix, May, and Williams, right? But I think Bo Nix is a quarterback. Again, very, very, very early in my draft stuff. Sorry I'm late to the party, but the Jets fans that are diehards like us deserve a better product and a refund. Joe, you put your time and effort into a team that does not value winning. It sucks, man. Jets fans legitimately deserve better. And it sucks because when you go to the games and you see that it's even the fans that are there, the 65% of fans that are there filling up the stadium, or 65% of filling the stadium, they're loud. Like we're loud when something goes right, but the win pretty much gets taken out of your sails immediately. Like it's just, games are not fun. They're not fun. Like legitimately not fun at all. I don't know. Swiss, he's not. He sucks to talk about washed up. I'm not sure what that means. Dalvin Schmuck. Okay. Hoping for some points and wins. Okay. Yeah. Again, I'm never going to tell people personally how to root. Heart says win. Head says lose. If I could sign a dotted line for a loss right now, I would. Again, during the game, might be different. MHJ Jr., okay, from what I heard, is also a stand-up guy and would fit Saleh's criteria for locker room guys. Okay. Yeah. Bowers is better tight end than Harrison as that receiver. Incredible balance, broken tackle ability, can catch every pass with his right hand or left. Absolute beast. I'm not saying you're wrong, Joe, but you're the only person I've heard had that take. Legitimately. I've heard, and again, I'll evaluate, and I can be completely in line with you. I don't like to speak in absolutes of things I don't know about. Like I got to watch him first. But Harrison seems to be a lock at 3. Now, maybe Bowers is better. The thing with Bowers is, does bringing Bowers in a room with Conklin and Ruckert next year, because Uzama's gone, he's injured for the season now, and he's gone unless they sign him for like a minimum contract to be, a cheerleader or whatever he does. I don't think he's a football player. I think he's just a cheerleader. So they'll pay him $1 million next year to cheer or whatever he's going to do. But with that being said, does upgrading from Carter Warren to Joe Alt make a bigger difference than bringing in Bowers? And the thing with tight ends too, you have to consider is they are historically slow developers. In a Super Bowl or bust year or maybe two window, do you want to go with tight end? I rather take a tackle than Bowers. Now I could watch him in a couple of weeks and say, no shit, Joe was right. Fuck that. I'm taking Bowers. But again, I cannot count. This light is very, very bright in my face right now. I'm gonna maybe turn that up a little bit. Yeah. Okay. In my opinion, the Jets need to reset and start all over again. Fire Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh, get younger, and start rebuilding the offensive line, the entire offensive line. Sure, but if Rodgers wasn't coming back, I'm with you, Eagle. But because Rodgers is coming back, it's never going to happen. It's just not realistic. Or maybe it's realistic, but I severely doubt it. They'll get fired. Now, after Rodgers is gone, unless it ends with riveting success, conference championship, really good year, maybe a Super Bowl, maybe they'd come back. But this year has been brutal. So is there anything that they can build on from the last game? No, not really. Not really. I don't know. What's up, fellas? What's up, Daniel Murphy? Daniel Murphy. I think I should say Daniel. Harold says, if we can get a top 10 pick, we can get the wide receiver from Washington, Rome Odunze. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I know there's one of the guys at my work is a really big Florida State fan, that receiver. I think is it Keon Coleman? I think his name is Coleman, but could be wrong. But yeah, maybe they get him. I don't know. If it's not Marvin Harrison, I probably prefer to go tackle. Joe, are you going to break down the draft prospects this year or not? Yeah, I am. Especially when you're in the top 5, top 10, it's pretty easy to kind of narrow down who you think the Jets will do. Last year's a little bit more hard to determine. And last year specifically, because we didn't know if we were going to trade the first round pick for Rodgers, I really stayed away from it and prepped a lot during draft time. But because this year we're going to be a top 5 pick, I could do 3 or 4 tackles, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then we're done, because that's all we really need to consider, right? Like, how many players do we need to consider at 5? So yeah, there will be at least 3, 4, 5 reviews of those players, and they'll be full-blown 2-hour reviews, so you guys can really watch and be like, oh shit, I really like this guy. I really don't. So keeping everyone is a wrong move, in my opinion. They need to start over and fast before it costs the Jets another decade. The offense should be the main focus. Again, what are you doing with Rodgers? You're not going to start a rebuild with Rodgers. That's all that is. Lol, the Lazard play was captioned Lazard lol. Yeah, it was. He just, I hate everything about his play. I really do. He's kind of, and what really topped it off, because I think he already sucks as a football player, for him to not come out and take accountability for his drops. It's like, listen, dude, yeah, the ball might be too hard. It might not be in the perfect place, but he has been nothing short of abysmal this year. Nothing short of abysmal. Did he even have a catch last game? I don't think he had a catch last game. $11 million a year for not a catch, and benched the week prior. So Miami is sweeping us real soon. Yeah, they are. So I watched his film. He was strictly a vertical receiver. That's it. Yeah. Vertical back shoulder ball, quasi blocker, a guy who people definitely overrated because they saw one play. They saw literally one play of him taking out 3 guys because the guys tripped over each other, and now he's a great blocker. Tell me I'm wrong. 97 people in here. I know at least half of you. No, maybe not half of you. Fuck that. You got not you guys. Half the people on Twitter thought Lazard was a great blocker because they saw one play. I can almost guarantee it, one play. That's enough for people. Now, I'm not saying he's not a good blocker, but to say he's better than Corey Davis was a complete lie, or not a lie, because I guess if you don't have the information, you can't be lying about something you don't know about. But yeah, Whitehead has 8 TDs, the most in the NFL. Terrible. And Harold, I don't think that's that. And I could be wrong. I have to read Nani's article, but I believe that's just passing touchdowns. I don't think that counts a run game, and I'm not sure if there has been any, in the run game, like specifically, like remember where he specifically gave it up. I'm sure there are. But yeah, it's been pretty bad. Joe's right on Corey Davis months ago. Lazard his ass. Yeah, vertical go routes. Lazard commercial was the Saleh commercial. And Nani said he was done with them after that. That was bad. Boyle was the rat. Brett Ripien, yes, thank you. How's your film editing? My film editing? I don't know what you mean by that. Not good. I'm not good at edit anything. Like, I try to add the money soundbite, and I I don't know how the fuck I did it. I played it through my computer while recording through voice memos and then emailed it to myself and then did it. There's definitely software where I can record it right from the computer and it probably sounds crisper. I don't know how to do it. I don't know. I suck. I suck with editing technology. Joe violated trust, dick move. Yeah, no, for sure. And I think he's a dick regardless. He's a loudmouth. He just talks. He has no knowledge of football. I'm sorry. You could say that about Beningo, but my hot take is that a lot of Jets I read Jet X. Jets content creators are the same. Obviously, not you nor Jet X. Appreciate that. In terms of spouting nonsense and flexing followers. Yeah, I'm not gonna mention names. I've seen a lot of like flexing recently on Twitter, like crazy flexing. I don't know, bro. Chill. Like 20,000 followers is a lot, but is it? Like not in the scope of life. No, like relax. People got to chill out with their followings. Love this. A whole new experience. Welcome back, Joe. Yeah. Right. I'm trying to upgrade the experience for you guys in the background, which actually, hold on. I can see the Jet sign a little bit more. Flashing colors. Do you guys like it flashing different colors? Do you want it just white? Flashing white? I don't know. It's a mystery. Is Zach good with a good offensive line? No. Zach is better with an offensive line. And we've talked about this 1,000 times too. It's not black or white. There's a gray area. It's not just Zach. It's not just Hackett. It's not just the offensive line. To make it this bad, to be historically one of the worst offenses in the NFL, all of the collective pieces have to suck, right? Historically bad is not one or two guys. It's the whole thing. Yeah, it's the whole thing. But no, Zach would not be good with an offensive line. Zach would be better. For sure. Okay. Ooh, hold on. More super chats. I missed them. And super chat from Daniel Murphy. Just joined. You out on Salah and or JD? Try again. I am, but they have this next year, right? Like it's pretty much set in stone at this point. So yes, unless they prove to me, I don't know, go 17-0 in the Super Bowl next year. Obviously, that's a little bit crazy, but yeah, they got to prove a lot in the next year or two to stay for me. But as of right now, yeah, for sure, I'm completely out on them. And again, JD, C plus guy, let's just say, but it's not good enough to double down like we talked about before. But I appreciate the super chat, Daniel. Let's call you Dan Murphy. You probably, I don't know. Blitz crew. The only thing, I'm going to do that. The money thing, it's either going to encourage people to super chat or it's going to be like, I don't want to hear that shit ever again. So if it's annoying, let me know. You think Ashton Davis should replace Whitehead? How's Tip doing at center? Tipman's been good at center. The snaps still need to improve a little bit. And again, the weeks prior, I've been watching, but I have not been breaking down the film and all that stuff. So he's been fine. If anything, he's actually been pretty impressive. I'm happy with Joe Tipman, how he's been playing. I'm comfortable with him, or mostly comfortable with him as a starter next year. He has to fix the snapping issues. But now, with that being said, Whitehead with Ashton Davis, no, not yet. Davis has been better, definitely been better. Very small sample size. If we extrapolate that over a year, is there going to be more coverage busts? Is there going to be more missed tackles? Maybe. Am I banking on that in this year? Maybe where we're going to be 4-13 or 5-12 or wherever we're going to be. Yeah, you play those guys and see what happens. Super Bowl or bust year, do you want Ashton Davis to be your starting safety? To me, no. To me, the answer at safety, they have to do a lot on the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball seems pretty simple. I think Quentin Jefferson, unfortunately, he's been great. He's been good this year, which we did say on the show prior to him signing. I think he would be better because he came from a two-gapping type of scheme with Seattle, and now he's going to be single gap more. So I thought his run defense would be better, and he'd just be overall more productive. He's been better in the run game. He's been overall more productive. But with that being said, great. Did he outplay his contract? Yes. He has like 6 sacks this year, 5 sacks, whatever it is this year. He's probably not coming back, but you're going to have to find, another quasi starting D tackle who's in a rush. You're going to have to replace Al Woods. And then past that, I would hope that they would re-sign Chuck Clark or sign Chuck Clark. They never signed him because they traded for him. But you sign Clark to be the strong safety. Adams is your free safety. Maybe you bring in another guy just to compete to be, if you want to have some big nickel looks, some big dime looks, you bring in that guy. And then Ashton Davis is your 3-4. But again, it's a pretty large leap to take in a Super Bowl or bust year. Hell of a play last week. That was amazing. Broke it down, obviously, on the film show. Really, really like the aggression there from Ashton Davis. I love that type of shit. Now, does that mean that he should be the starter next year? No, not necessarily. I have to see a little bit more personally for me to say that. But okay, let's see. I don't know. Hold on, mute button. Yeah, getting a little bit under the weather. Okay. 74 and 132 records since 2011 and counting. How many losses has MetLife seen since it's been built? Because the Giants and the Jets, since about like 2013-ish, are the two losingest franchises in the NFL. How many losses have been in MetLife? That stadium has seen horrible, horrible, horrible things and should be knocked down because of it. It's brutal. Momo, window is closing. No one wants to go to a losing franchise. I'm worried about Hall, Garrett, Sauce. Yeah, dude. I brought that up, or ma'am. I brought that up plenty of times. Like, I remember specifically being a kid and going to a game, watching them lose, and then an older gentleman we were with being like, yeah, fucking Revis is going to leave. This guy's going to leave. That guy's going to leave because like we're the Jets and we suck and they want to play elsewhere. And I remember it like really like baking into me. Like, damn, dude, like that really, really sucks. They're going to leave. And let's be real here. Like if it doesn't work out these next 2 years, is Sauce going to want to get $20 million from us and really have it be $13 million? Or is he going to want to get it from the Cowboys where it's really going to be $20 million? You know? And obviously it's not that drastic, but yeah, you know, would you commit to the Jets? And I know a lot of you guys are going to say, yeah, like I'll be on the team who drafted me. Would you, if you're losing this much and you have no allegiance to the team, minus that they drafted you, and now that GM is fired, so you have allegiance to the owner who hired the GM? Now, if Douglas was here, okay, I don't know. You know, I don't know. William says, keep giving great content analysis. Who cares about special effects? No, I know. You need a little bit, though. You need a little bit to spice it up, some sound bites and stuff like that. I'm not going to just completely ditch the film and start doing sound bites, but you feel me. Like many Jets podcasts, but Blewett gives you the full 22 knowledge. Oh, I'm assuming you're talking about William. Yeah, no. The film is there. I just put out a film show. It was only an hour. Typically my reviews are anywhere from, like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, because I do about anywhere from 50 to 70 plays. Why do I want to watch Tim Boyle and Simeon throw the ball? I don't. So unless they were throwing the ball in a play where I had to talk about Garrett Wilson or Xavier Gibson or something like that, I'm not gonna talk about Tim Boyle because I'm on the team. I don't care. I don't care about Simeon either. I don't care. I don't care about evaluating them. I legitimately couldn't care less. So I didn't. I did a 29 play review. It was like an hour and 5 minutes. So it's out there. 2023 draft looks promising. Tippmann? McDonald's had flashes. When he's in. I know people are going to go with the numbers and all that stuff. When he's been in, there's been some like, oh, damn, okay, he can be a good player. So, yeah, 1 and 2, but 4 was Warren, 5 was Izzy. Who else are we talking about? I don't know. We have Zach Kuntz with the draft neck. What is that? Is he doing something? Who else did we take? Zaire Barnes. I don't know if you've seen the field at all. Hello would be going from Herm. There's some other things too. I think I want to keep one clean too, like one clear, even though I can just clear it out myself and like do, hey, remember this terrible quote this week? Boom, play it. Like that. I could do that too. I got to figure out how to do it a little bit more cleanly. But we're taking steps up in the positive direction. You guys can see that. All of the free agent linemen he assigned since day one have been bust, except for maybe George Fant or Morgan Moses. George Fant was fine, especially considering that everybody hated him for it. Morgan Moses was not a bust. He was definitely very good for his price. But in terms of like past that, yeah, you're talking about like more of high impact guys, right? Like we can't bring up Nate Herbig and say he was a bust last year, but he got like $2 million. Should we even consider that? I don't know. But yeah, mostly it's not been good. Most of it's more on injuries in the offensive line, but still. Saleh needs to stop talking extensively. Or talking about excessively? Extensively? I think you're talking about excessively. I don't know. Maybe. I haven't listened to a press conference in probably 4 weeks. I've seen sound bites for them, but I can't listen. I don't want to consume any Jets. How do they still do one Jets drive? What are they about? Legitimately, what are they about? Some guys to tell me. What do they do? Like, this play we sucked. We'll come back next week. That play sucked. We'll come back next week. That play sucked. We'll come back next week. Fight. It's all about the fight. Can we get through the grind? It's like, yeah, motherfucker, we've been doing that for 15 years. Can you be good, please? Gotta grind. One stretch drive. All right. Trade down to get that second round pick back. Maybe take a highly rated. Fine. But the only problem with taking a highly rated guard there, Switz Pete's and like, yeah, we want to build for the future and all that stuff. And again, obviously they drafted Will McDonald and all that stuff. So it's a possibility. Where is he playing though? Because Tomlinson's most likely going to be back based on his contract. You know, $8 million saved, $10 million. It's like 10 on the books, 8 saved or something like that. So you're not going to pay him like $8 million to be off the team when you're only paying him 10 to be on it. You know, he's probably here. Tibbins, your center, your right guard is obviously ABT. And then we'll see what happens at the tackle spots. You know, is Becton gone? I would probably bet on he is, unless he really established a close relationship with Rodgers, like Rodgers kind of indicated a little bit, like dinners and stuff like that. Would he stay here for, you know, hey, take a year or two deal and then bounce, you know, but let's ride it out with Rodgers. That's a possibility. But it's not like the Jets and back to that bet on the best terms since he's been here. It's not been all sunshines and rainbows with him. So, but yeah, I'm okay with trading down, depending who's there, etc. You know, we got to figure that out. You can't just say trade down. We got to figure out who's on the board, etc. Jets should trade out and get a few more picks. Yeah, again, depending. Is it Harrison? Are they locking into Harrison? Drake May does look like a stud. It'd be hard to pass on him. Yeah, but Woody Johnson just signed off on. They picked Donald at 3. You pick Zach Wilson at 2. Then you get Rodgers, and you want to go all in for Super Bowl. Hey, Woody, we're not going to help him out. We're going to draft another quarterback. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. I'll be okay with trading down if Harrison Jr. or Joe Alt are off the board. Okay, so those are your third and your fourth guys, or your number 1 and your 2 sneakers and boots. Now, I again, correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen much on the internet, and even if I do, I might not believe whoever's saying it or telling me. But is Alt like the number 1, like for sure? Because I've seen some people have the other guy at 1 or whatever it may be, and I'll have my own analysis, you know, because at this point last year, was it last year? No, at this point 2 years ago, people were telling me how good Evan Neal was. And if you've been here for longer than 2 years, you know how I feel about Evan Neal. So yeah, I gotta watch my own eyes for sure, because I don't trust people. Dak was a 4th round pick. Okay, yeah, I got that. Mississippi State, Dom C, nice to see you. I think it was Mississippi State. Penix Jr. That's like a developmental quarterback, right? Yeah, you guys can throw names out there. What I'm telling you, the draft. I'm not a college football guy. I'm obviously heavily delved into the Jets for the website and just my own fandom. And then past that, it's hockey, it's basketball, and it's baseball. I don't have space in my life for a 5th sport and paying attention to that stuff. So my Saturdays, I'm not watching college football really. Like, I'll watch the big games and stuff, but my extent of watching college football is a lot of like, yeah, big games, kind of like a fair weather fan, as you would say. And then I'll obviously evaluating draft prospects for the Jets, but yeah, see. Jeff Ulbrich has been a name mentioned around the NFL to be interviewed for head coaching. Do you think? No, I don't. I think he'll get interviews. I don't think we lose him. I don't think we lose him. Joe, would you do the film reviews on potential free agents, or is it too time consuming? Yeah. So typically, RJ, I'll do them for the draft prospects, because we have like a pool of guys. Like, okay, especially the top 5, it's going to be these 4 or 5 guys most likely. Free agents, you have no idea. So it's typically a waste of time. Now, if they sign that guy, great. But for every 1 review I do, there's going to be 9 reviews that they don't sign. So yeah, it's a waste of time. You know, it's a waste of time. So I'd rather do player reviews, Garrett Wilson review, Sauce review of this year, the draft prospects, that stuff. And think about it. By the time the season ends, we're talking about January. By the time I get those, 3 or 4 or 5 reviews out of the draft prospects, it's going to be time for free agency anyway. You know, so I think he can now, but his history of medical procedures will scare some organizations. Oh, you guys are talking about the quarterback, right? All right. Bo Nix. Was it Bo Nix? Right. If MH Jr. there, young wide receiver, you're saying you want to take him? Yeah, like I said, my initial thinking of the draft this year was, hey, draft a tackle, because there's so many receivers available in free agency this year, they'll be able to get one. But if they think that Harrison Jr. is legitimately a next level receiver is going to be an absolute bona fide stud, and you could supplement and maybe pay a couple extra million to keep Becton here or whatever it may be, then okay. I'm okay. I'm completely okay with that as well. If they think it's better to trade down, get one of those tackles, and that's going to make more impact, then hey, you do you, even though I don't necessarily trust the Jets. We will beat Houston. It's definitely Friday. It's definitely not Monday or Tuesday right now. It's definitely Friday. So, okay. 14-10, 2 touchdowns. Dakota. We have, do we have 11 and 12 weeks? Do we have 10 and 12 weeks? Whatever it is, 2 in a game? Are you sure? You have to add Curb Your Enthusiasm sound effect theme as well as Kanye West sound. I don't know if I've ever heard that one. Jealous beanbag. I don't know if I've ever heard that one. Did you see Whitehead on Twitter begging Jets fans to vote him on? Then the funny thing was, like, he clicked on Nania's tweet, then he clicked on his article, read it, and probably read factual information, and then still refuted it. Like, we all know you suck. Why are you trying to push yourself out there? I don't get it. Because there's those idiots out there, and it's not idiots, they're fans, right? Fanatics, but they'll defend the worst player in the world. They will. Remember Bless Austin? There's people defending him to me. Why? Because he's a Jet. He's great. He's not bad. You're a fucking idiot. Okay. Bless Austin. What do you say? He's like a top 5 corner in the league. What did Bless Austin do after the Jets? Let's look at Bless Austin. Bless Austin stats. Did he do anything? Is he anywhere? What did he do? He didn't play in the NFL in the last 2 years. So he went to the Jets, was so great with us. He was such a stud that he got signed to Seattle, played 11 games there, only started 1, had 0 picks, 10 tackles, only 8 solo, and then dropped out of the NFL. That's crazy for a top 10 guy, like he pronounces, or like some of the people pronounce in here that he's a good starting corner. Okay. Because he hits. The only reason people like Bless on Austin was because he hit hard, and you see hard hits on broadcast, and that's legitimately all it is, and there's no other reason. That's it. Sorry to be brash, but that's the truth of it. If a new regime wants another quarterback in Washington, would you throw a 3rd, 4th at them for Howell and take over in 2025? No. And it'll take more for Howell, right? Because Howell's playing decently well this year. Again, relative to expectations, I haven't checked his stats and all that stuff, but he's leading an offense that's not abysmal. If you get a 2, a 4, and a 6 for Darnold, is it only going to take a 3rd or 4th for Howell at that point? No, I think it would take more. And if I went and watched him, maybe like legitimately Peter, I don't know. If I went and watched him, I was like, oh yeah, he's really good. I'd be willing to trade a 4th for it. But like right here, top of my noggin, I would say no. I think he goes for probably more, so it's not realistic. This is the best defense the rookie Stroud is seeing all offseason. Yeah, I would like to at least be competitive, right? Like, again, my heart will say during the game, win the game. If I could pick it right now, give me like well, I don't want the defense to get embarrassed. I don't know. But like, even if, I don't know, man, give me like 41-37. Give me like scoring touchdowns. It's just, I haven't seen one in so long. Yeah, use Armor is a cheerleader. That's all he is. And it's funny too, because the guy will then go on Twitter and like all the tweets about him being bad. It's like, maybe have like some awareness. I don't know. If he was good and he liked tweets about him being bad, then okay, I don't understand. But when you suck and you like tweets about being bad, like, are you disagreeing? That's all it could be, right? Like, he has to know he sucks. Like, they watch the film together. Unless they don't. They might not. That's giving them too much credit. Okay. Yeah. Jordan Williams for right tackle. He's performing much better. Is he? Used to be Cayuga Lake Jets fan. Used to be the fuck was? It used to be something else Lake, or some kind of lake, or whatever it was. Yeah, I would be like willing to look into it. Now, with that being said, Jordan Williams was on the free agency market last year or 2 years ago, was it? And a lot of his numbers indicated, and even his film indicated, that he was not very good. Now, that was at left tackle, I believe. If he's playing right tackle and he's performing much better this year, then okay. But then the problem becomes, he was at left tackle. He's battled some injuries, right, if I'm not mistaken. He had 1 good year at right tackle. So let's say he has 3 good years at left, 1 good year at right. Are you willing to bank on that year at right tackle? Like I said before, show me the second year of production. So it's a little bit risky, but it depends on the market. I don't think the market is oversaturated with stud tackles. So yeah, you might have to take a risk on a Jordan Williams, or overpay Becton by $1 million or $2 million. You might have to do it. But yeah, right now, okay, I would look into it. Again, I can't say yes for sure. If Rodgers doesn't work out next year and he retires, Jets is fucked. Jets are fucked. Yeah, it's not going to be pretty after that. But at least we'll have a fresh start and hope again that we can convince ourselves to win a Super Bowl. I don't know. It's not that the Jets are bad. They embarrass themselves and their fans bad. Butt fumble, fail. Oh yeah, dude. The funniest thing, Sneakers to Boots. I don't know if you listened to the beginning of the show, but I listed all of the embarrassing things over the last couple of weeks, and the fact that the Fail Mary did not even cross my mind just speaks to how bad the Jets have been. Really, I didn't even think about that. One of the funny thing was exactly when that happened. So I don't know what the section is, but we're in the 100. No, yeah, we're in the 100s. And if you walk all the way up the 100 stairs and like past the gate you're supposed to walk into, and then walk up past those where we're over the underhang, there's like a secret fucking what is it? Like not a landing there, like a secret whatever, like row of stores and stuff. So we went up there and we're like, holy shit, like we figured out this place was there, and we went up right before halftime because you wanted to get mobbed. Went up there, beer. I think we had a shot of like Captain Morgan. It was so gross. It was like a warm Captain Morgan, and shot happens and we see the play. We're like, okay, like this try. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's like right after a shot, bad taste in my mouth. Want to, stab my eyes out. It's just like, brutal. Malik Neighbors. I have no idea. Wild Wave. I'll be honest. I've never heard that name in my life. Never. I don't watch enough college football. And I'm not one of those guys who be like, yeah, Malik Neighbors is a really good guy. I would like to consider in the 4th or 5th round pick. I think a 3rd round pick is a little bit too high, but a 6th is maybe a 6th round pick if he falls. And it's like all of that opinion is based on you saw a mock draft from WalterFootball.com or did a simulator from Draft Network, which is always wrong. Okay. Oh, Neighbors. Okay, so you are right, because Wild Wave. Let's say I was to say this. Malik Neighbors would be a good fit for us. And I said, yeah, I would. And he was some Vietnam veteran from Nam, literally from Nam. I made up a name, and he's telling me that he likes this guy. Like, you could do that. You could do that with some people, I'm sure, and they would be like, yeah, I like that guy. But I don't know him. But okay, so it's Neighbors, it's Harrison Jr., and it's Coleman from Florida State. But those are the two biggest needs on the Jets right now. Offensive line and receiver, and it seems like the draft up top is pretty stocked with those guys. So that's great. That's great. How do you think Rodgers feels bringing in Lazard and Cobb? Do you think he's embarrassed? I think that he's probably such a competitor that he believes that if he was in here with them, that they would not be as bad. But realistically, I don't know how you can watch Lazard in Green Bay and not acknowledge that he sucks a little bit or a lot of it. So embarrassed. I'm thinking he's probably not happy for them. Cobb is. We're literally playing like 3 UDFAs at receiver. It's kind of wild. Rome Adumzi. Maybe your type of guy. He is a very good contested catch guy, but it can also run routes pretty well. Just seems like a football player when I watch him. He has that it factor. Okay. What is he a first round guy too, Harold? Because like some of you guys will be like throwing names out there, and I can't tell. New setup. What the fuck? Yeah. Thank you, Christian. I tried. I'm trying a little bit. Drop some money on it. Now the next thing I got to do is the computer. The computer's next. This computer is going to kick it soon. You think Izzy will learn pass blocking this year? No, because he's not going to get snaps because they're going to play Dalvin Cook for whatever reason. Because getting Cook in a losing season matters. Joe says the Jets get more in a trade down from 2 than the Niners trade up. Then the 49ers trade up to 3. Well, it depends on the pick, right? And where did the Niners go? They traded up from 3 from like you're talking about in the Lance year, right? Yeah, no, that wasn't the Lance year because Fields went before Lance. They traded up this year. The Niners trade up to 3. Did they trade up this year? I'm blanking out. I don't know, but it's all dependent on who's there. The combine matters. The quarterbacks matter because listen, if one of these quarterbacks, Drake May, all this stuff, he gets injured, he attaches a gas mask to his face like Tunsil did, which shouldn't matter nowadays anyway. But do those guys drop? It's so hard to tell in Friday, December 8th at this point. So Miami fans are laughing at us so hard this season by season, and they know we are a weaker chain to feed off of. Miami fans are laughing at us so hard by season, and they know we are a weaker chain to feed off of.
What the hell is even that?
All right. You say JD is a C plus GM, not good enough to double down. This is a team that gave an extension to Mike McCagnon after. Yeah, no. Look, RJ, that's me. I'm not talking about Woody. I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about me personally. No, I thought I was going to get roasted there. But yeah, no, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. Okay, let's keep scrolling down. Hey, late. Okay, I'm about to catch up to the chat. Oh no, I'm not about to catch up to the chat. That's at 6:00. Hey, late. If we finish the season with 10-game losing streak, we'll hack it and Salah start. Yeah, they will. They will. Should they? Probably. No. But the whole Rodgers situation really has them by the balls. Like, what do? You bring in a whole new staff and make a 40-year-old quarterback learn a new offense? Because realistically, is the offense even? Let's say it is Kellen Moore. Is Kellen Moore's offense ran by Rodgers that much better than Rodgers' offense ran by Rodgers? Because that's what Hackett's offense is. Hackett's going to make 5% of the difference. It's Rodgers' offense when he comes back. So, no, I don't think they're fired. Salah's a placeholder, and if it doesn't work out, he's fired. But yeah, no, they'll be here. They'll be here. Bring back the Strevler. That would have been. It's like funny, like one of the more exciting moments. Obviously, and listen, like we had the Eagles winning, the Bills win. There were some games at MetLife this year, but at the end of the season last year, like that was one of the most exciting parts of the last 4 weeks. Legitimately, he comes in, gets like 2 or 3 first downs, and we're screaming our heads off for Strevler in the pouring rain, like down 18-3, whatever it was. Like it is wild. Super Bowl or bust season. Super Bowl or bust season. You bring back Chuck Clark, have Davis as your Thursday. Yeah, I'm with that. I love Chuck Clark, and the good thing about it is if they do bring him back, I can just say, hey guys, go watch the review from last year because he didn't do anything this year. But I really, really like Clark. Like he's my type of player. I think he's a really, really smart player. Ashton Davis reminds me of Eric Smith, good player of teams and an okay third safety in some packages. Yeah, he's been when he plays, he's been doing much better for sure. And it's I think it's a thing where maybe we're too quick to jump to conclusions. But we've said it before, and I've definitely said it before. All development's not linear. Some guys it's their first year. Some guys it's their 8th year. Look at Geno. Look at Greg Dortch, how bad he was for the Jets, and now look, he's actually a decent player for the Cardinals. Look at Andrew Thomas sucked in his first year. He was good. He was good in his second year, and now he's a good player. So yeah, all development's not linear, and Davis hasn't necessarily gotten the opportunity to like expand upon what he can actually do. With that being said, it's going to be too small of a sample size for me to bank on him. So why didn't JD sign Jefferson with the 2024 team option? So I've heard this, and this is in general, Kev. I've heard this from a couple of different. Like when I listen to a lot more podcasts, people would say like, "Oh, well, why didn't they just sign him to a 3-year deal that they can get out of?" Because why is that beneficial for the player? If Jefferson's going to come here and okay, he thought he was, I don't even know what he got on the open market, whatever it was, like $4 million. We signed him for $3 million. Let's say he expected like $5 or $6 million for the player he was. And he's like, fuck it. I'll take $4 million in the Jets. I'll ball out with a bunch of other good guys, and then I'll get a bigger contract. Like it's harder to say that, he could have signed him to a longer term deal. What if Jefferson came in and he sucked and then we had him for next year too? So it's double-edged sword there. And obviously you have a guy in Jefferson who has an option too. They can't just force him to sign a 2-year deal. Maybe he came to the Jets and said, hey, I want to prove a deal, and good on him because he proved it. He's 6 sacks. He's going to have 6, 7, 8 sacks by the end of the year. He's been balling out, dude. I like Jefferson. I liked him in his review, which great. We honestly need to, this is from Carney Jet Die. We honestly need to fire our top-notch medical staff and whatever they're doing. I hope start there. Hi, Joe, and everybody else. Let's go Jets and trade back multiple times and get 2 first. In the first get 2 picks. Yeah. Depends. The whole trade down stuff, trade up. What should we do? Where should we trade down to? We'll talk about that all off season, but it's so much guessing that it's almost not worth discussing, right? Like, where are we going to finish? Let's figure that out first. But in general, we know we can discuss a few things. Okay. If we're at 2, you trade down. If you're at 3, do you take Harrison Jr. and then prioritize tackle more so in free agency than you would have if you were pick 6 and you drafted a tackle at 6 and then you needed a receiver to fill in free agency? Could you trade down from 2 or 3 to the Raiders, wherever the Raiders are going to be, 8, 9, 10, whatever, and recoup and get their picks? So now you have Devontae and the money, but now you get the 3rd or 4th tackle off the board. Is that a possibility? There's so many things that can happen, but those are kind of the most realistic possibilities I see at this point right now. I hope I recapped all the ones I think are realistic. Okay. Play Zach and Tank. Bring back Boyle and Tank. Zach has a chance. Zach is better than Boyle. That's not saying a lot, but they have a chance in last game with Zach maybe. Boyle is, oh my God, it's brutal. What about moving Bryce Hall to safety? Okay. Now, another thing is he's not under contract for next year. So you're going to sign him to play safety when he's played corner? Probably not. I think he's good enough at corner. Let's keep him at corner. Just because you play in the secondary, it's a completely different position. Completely different position, obviously. So I love the queue. Even though I answered them all because now I'm solo here, which again we'll figure out in the future. I might keep running it solo, or we'll say. But I'll always run it. I'm sorry for being gone for 2 or 3 weeks. I'm sure some people are like, "Oh my God, Kyle left. He did one show. Now he bounced. I'm not going to be gone." But do you think JJ has developed? Especially not after buying all this shit. Do you think JJ has developed into a stud edge, or is he kind of getting lucky and winning with just hustle? There's been some hustle, but no, JJ has definitely improved this year. And again, the thing that we said, specifically me and Kyle said a lot, watching him at Florida State and watching him in year one, and even watching him the first maybe 2 or 3 weeks of the season, he was very, very, very hesitant. And then when you're hesitant, obviously you can't dictate the rush. You have to dictate the rush. You have to get first to get contact. When you're hesitant, you don't get first contact. This year, there's been a lot more playing around with his feet, being finesse. JJ he has some finesse to his game. Like he has some bendy to him, but he's not the most athletic guy in the world. Like he's good. He's a good athlete, but he's not a great athlete. He's not Will McDonald. So he's been more power. I'm helmet versus helmet. I'm gonna get lower than you. I'm gonna blow you up and get to the quarterback. And then there's been some maybe a luck with a sack or two, or just hustle, but that's part of sacks. That's a big reason why Trey Henderson got paid. It wasn't necessarily winning right off the jump. It was the secondary efforts that got him a lot of the sacks that he got. So JJ is a very good run defender, and he's going to be a guy. How many sacks does he have this year? 7, 8? You're talking about a very solid edge defender, and a guy who's going to get, 10, 11, 12 sacks maybe next year. Maybe this year he even gets 10. That's a very, very good player. It's a good player. It's a good player. Someone needs to look into how and why we have so many injuries on the offensive line every damn year. Yeah, it's been brutal. What play do you like the most that Zach's really good at? Like a specific concept that he's good at? None that I can think of, because I've seen him fuck up slant flats, which is the most easy thing to read. So no, there's no concept that I want him to necessarily run. Do I want to see him, get some more read options, some more RPOs? Do I want to see him rolled out of the pocket a little bit more, some more deep shots? 100%. But is there anything that that's what he's going to be good at? No, not necessarily. Irrational to have cut Michael Carter and still not play Izzy. Yeah, I'm with you, Kev. I'm really with you. I don't understand it. I don't understand Izzy not playing and Dalvin Cook playing. What has Dalvin Cook done good this year? Again, this is shaking a little bit, right? Okay, that's happening. That's something I got to fix. So this has to be elevated a little bit so you guys don't see my fan up there. But it's on a book, so it's not very steady. So if it's shaking, that'll get fixed. I'll find a stand or some shit. So I'm sorry about the shaking. But there's no concept that Zach's a stud at. Ravens will be the number 1 seed in the AFC, in my opinion. I don't even know are they the 1 seed right now? It's them, the Dolphins, and the Chiefs, right, competing for it. When the Jets are this bad, I really, really tap out. I care a lot about winning money with fantasy football right now, but other than that, it just takes so much out of you. Watching good football is fun sometimes, but also hurts sometimes. Be like, this is what it's like. I almost don't want to taste the sweetness. Just cold turkey, good football. That's what I'm doing for the most part. MetLife Stadium. This is from Carney. Says MetLife Stadium is a black hole of death. Need to get our own stadium back somewhere in Queens. So you're from New York saying that, most likely. I am from Jersey. Getting to Queens for games 8 times a year would be brutal, especially when we drive a Jets bus. It's not like we can take the train or, bus or whatever we'll take. We have a Jets bus. We'll drive there. How long is it going to be to get to Queens and back? Fuck that. Play in the AC unit. So, no skills. Nice stream quality. How about Falcons flopping their way to the end zone to the end of the first quarter? I'd be disappointed in the refs. I'd be disappointed in the refs if the Jets had an offense. The flags were pretty bad, but there's 2 specifically that were awful. One was the Chaz Surratt hit lowering the helmet to initiate contact where he hit the guy with his shoulder. I don't understand that one. And then the DJ Reed taking away interception was brutal. And again, go watch the film. Even I put it on Twitter or whatever. Kyle Pitts legitimately is running at DJ Reed, lunges towards him and hits him. And all Reed does is put his hands up and absorbs the contact. And it's a penalty on fucking what's his name on DJ Reed. Wild, bro. But yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But thank you, Nose Kills, for the super chat. But there also wasn't good plays there too. And I broke it down in the film. Like Quincy's been great. He's fallen off a little bit in the last few weeks, in my opinion. There's still some really, really like confusing coverage lapses that he has. He had 2 this week that were pretty brutal, in my opinion. Oh, actually, give me just a second, because I realized my wife left and my dog is ringing the bells to go outside, and I'm not letting him piss. So there might be shit on my floor or piss. So let me just do that real quick. Hold on. All right, no piss on my floor. Thank God. Sorry, fellas. Duty calls. Legitimately, legit. All right, keep going down. We're at 6:06. I'm a little bit behind the chat, catching up. I appreciate all the comments, guys, especially when you're solo. It's a little bit hard to. I'm pretty much gonna say it's gonna be 2 hours. If it's shorter because there's not enough chats, it's shorter. We'll figure out maybe co-hosting. I might do call-ins eventually. Limit it, to a couple of minutes, but we'll see. I might end up doing that sometimes because some people enjoy the solo, some people don't. Self-inflicted wounds from the Salah sound. But what I thought about doing, Justin, was the what did it was like Conklin from a couple of weeks ago. Like, is that a joke? Because I think somebody asked him about like the offense or whatever, and he's like, "Is that a joke or is that a trick question?" Like, I think I should put that one as the dog goes under me right there. Maybe we can sign Chris Christie as offensive tackle. Yeah, didn't he have like was that like Bridgegate or whatever? So he's good at like blocking traffic or whatever. I don't know exactly how that went down, but yeah, maybe he's kind of fat. So no, I'm not getting political here. I'm not even gonna talk about that. I'm pretty center. I think both sides are kind of stupid, to be honest. But whatever. I'm brash. People are like, "Oh, fuck you," whatever. They're all kind of idiots. If either, again, there's no black and white. No side is just completely right. Let's just get that out of the way first. If you think so, I'm sorry. I can't even speak to you. Laugh my fucking ass off. What's worth listening to on one Jets drive? I can't stop laughing, but I continue to watch. Like, Momo, what do they do? Every single episode is, and again, I'm really sorry for the shaking. Maybe I should just take the book out. I'll take the book out for now, because I know that has to be annoying. All right, book out, and then we'll adjust. Now it's a little bit lower, but then you see the fan. Whatever. Yeah. And they'll fight back next week. Like that, like gritty, like voice, and they'll come back and they'll figure out a way to be better against the Texans. Next one. They get blown out. Like, what do they even show? What do they show? Saleh just sitting there like fucking Kermit the Frog, not talking to anybody. And I think that's way overrated. I do. If a guy is yelling and they win, great. If he's yelling and they are losing, oh, he's a hothead. If he's silent and they lose, he's Todd Bowles. If he's silent and they win, they're Bill Belichick, right? Like, people are so stupid with that. With that being said, when Zach Wilson comes out of the game and he's sitting there on the bench completely alone, Saleh's not talking to anybody. He just sits there with his arms crossed the entire time. I'm not talking about bravado and yelling and all that stuff. But let's discuss strategy. Let's reinforce positivity into guys. Let's do something. But sitting there with a blank stare on your face is not good. Again, does he need to be rah-rah? No, I think that's bullshit. And realistically, the whole rah-rah thing, it works in high school. It can work in college. Try to go rah-rah with a guy who's 32 years old, making more money than you do, and has kids and a family. It doesn't work as well typically. So Buffalo to the Super Bowl, yeah, 6-6. The Al Qaeda Bills. That's fucking wild, dude. That was wild. I have legitimately had to check multiple sources to see that I was not tripping balls or something like that. Like somebody slipped mushrooms into my coffee or something. I don't know. Hey, Joe, imagine my misery. I'm a Boston Bruins fan and a Jets fan. Are the Bruins bad this year? I don't know. Can you feel my misery breaking all NHL records last year and getting bounced in the first round and the Rodgers? Momo, I'm going to top you. I'm going to one-up you. I appreciate your pain here, but the Bruins have won. They've won cups. They won a cup in what was like 2013, 14, 15, one of those years. They or somewhere around there. They won a cup. With that being said, I am a Nets fan. I saw probably the biggest super team bust of all time. All time. You have Harden, KD, and Kyrie. They play a total of, I believe, 13 games together, get eliminated in the second round by a fucking this because KD's foot was over the line. They probably win that ring, to be complete, in my opinion. Past that, okay, that year sucked. That blows up. The Rodgers thing, okay, we all know about that. The Mets. Super team last year, the highest payroll in MLB. They don't even make the fucking playoffs. It's bad for New York sports fans. I'd rather be a Bruins fan. Well, I'm a Devils fan though. The Devils are the only thing I got going, even though they've been disappointing. But they'll come back. They have too much talent, and I'm in the playoffs, in my opinion. But the fucking Rangers, man, they're on fire. I'd give big props to Zach if he ignores every play Hackett sends him. Yeah, like realistically, can you do that? Because then the teams are going to ask the Jets how he was and shit. Like, yeah, he fucking just ignored every single play that I called from. Then I'd be like, yeah, he's a smart guy. Sign that guy. Ignore Hackett. And the thing was like, I've seen some of the, Sean Payton was right. Was Sean Payton ever wrong? He was wrong in how he addressed it. He was not wrong about what happened in Denver last year. It was a fucking shit show. Was I ever sitting there like, yeah, I think he's actually going to be a good hire. Sean Payton's an idiot. He doesn't know anything about football. No, I thought Sean Payton's an asshole. He should have never said that. Don't kick a guy when he's down. That's my opinion. I never thought. I actually think Hackett's a good guy. So okay, keep moving on. Conklin and Uzama most overpaid in the league. Conklin, why? What has Conklin done that's been bad this year? Like legitimately, I'm asking. There's been no drops. There's been no fumbles. He's been running routes well. There's times there's a time he got to open up the seam this game, and I believe he won up the seam. So he's on the right side of the quarterback. He won up the seam. There's a defender on his inside I can't do that. There's a defender on his inside hip. So Boyle needs to put the ball outside or vertical. He puts it fucking 3 yards inside where the defender is. What is Conklin supposed to do? Conklin's been fine this year. Conklin's been good this year, actually, I'd venture to say. You put Conklin and Rodgers, you're fine. Conklin's a solid receiving tight end. I will not back down on that one. I will not. Zach playing yet again in terrible weather. The potential to see something even more gross than the Patriots game and Giants game is high. Then the Falcons game, there's been bad. That's it. And why does it rain? Is there a thing that we literally have a dark cloud hanging over us? I went over it and we were in the bus talking about how many rain games we've been to in the last 2 years. It's been at least a third of the Jets games are rain games. At least a third, which is a lot of games. It doesn't rain that often. It rains like once a week. So it's like 1 out of 7 days. Now it's 1 out of 3. What the fuck? I don't know. Sorry for the cursing too. I mean, people listen to their kids and stuff too, but it's hard when the Jets are this bad. I just don't care anymore. I have given up. It is better for my mental health to forget about this circus until the organization makes a change. Yeah, I'll never give up, not do film and not do all that stuff. I'll still do it. I'll do it with a lot more numbness. I'm not going to get very mad anymore until I have a beverage or two. Then I'll get mad and fire out on Twitter. But that's why I don't do. I stay away from Twitter when I'm watching games. I don't really tweet because 1, it's a broadcast view. What do I really know? And 2, I tend to be angry. I'm actually very happy drunk, but not when the Jets are playing. Yeah, Jefferson and Davis have been they've been like risers, huge risers this year. Odds on us re-signing Huff, I think it's absolutely necessary, David. If they can't sign him, you tag him. This is not a year where, again, you're going for the Super Bowl where you're going to say, hey, one of the better edge rushers in the league. That's not important in the NFL. Go away. No, you figure that shit out. You cut whoever the fuck you got to cut to get that money. You cut Tomlinson. You cut Lazard. I don't care what you got to do. You tag Huff if he doesn't sign. You have to have him. Have to have him back. Out of all of the Rodgers game, which one's the worst? It's Cook. It's Cook, dude. It has to be Cook. It has to be. Because the thing with Lazard is, I think he could be a decent number 3, and he's been nothing of the sort this year, but I think he could be a decent number 3, at least from what I saw him doing with the Packers. And like $11 million for receiver 3 is not crazy. $8 million for Dalvin Cook, who is worse than Zonovan Knight, which by the way, with whatever. Everybody was fighting with Nani on Twitter about that. Nani was saying like that he'd rather have Zonovan Knight or whatever. And like the initial argument was really over Cook and not wanting to sign Cook. And then it got spun into Cook versus Zonovan Knight for Nania. And that's not what he necessarily said. But with that being said, Zonovan Knight last year was 10 times more impressive than anything Dalvin Cook has done. So the people who said that too were actually wrong. I'd much rather have Zonovan Knight. I don't know what he's done, but he had the Bears game. He had the Vikings game. Dalvin Cook had like 2 good runs last week, and that was about it. Brutal. And you knew that if you watched the film and you knew what you were watching. You knew that. It was not a surprise. We were steadfast on he sucks. Yeah, fucking Durant, bro. And he like comes out. He's like shitting on the Nets the other day too. I'll always root for that guy to lose. That man, and I rooted for him into the Nets because he's a Net. That man is one of the softest individuals I've ever, and him and LeBron James. I'm calling a 6'8", 280-pound guy soft, wherever he is. But in terms of like mentality, I saw LeBron he lost to the Nets, and he was like, oh yeah, one of the last shots I got poked in the eye. I was seeing 3 rims. Like, fuck you, LeBron. I hate LeBron. Durant, dude. The fact, correct me if I'm wrong here, the Thunder were up on the Warriors 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals. The Warriors come back and win that series 4-3, and then Durant leaves to go to that team. Bro, so soft. But yeah, okay. Salah can't even outsmart a fan in Joe Beningo. I don't know. I can't. There's not a good one for that. When I need to get one where like I see a name I don't like, I can just be like a fart noise or something. I don't know. But Joe Beningo, whatever. Clark torn ACL pass. It's gonna be lesser money, but yeah, I get that. I wanted Simeon to start again. Like you start Boyle, he sucks, but Simeon gets a quarter. I don't understand that necessarily, but whatever. I don't really care that much. I don't think scheme is the issue. Todd Downing, Hackett, Calabrese squeeze some improvements out of Zach, but we need some proven coaches at the QB spot. I don't want to get into this so much, but schemes are part of the problem. Like for sure, we've been talking about schematic problems a lot. Third down, sending guys vertical, not having a check down, schemes being completely missed up where they know they're supposed to have a check down. Somebody stayed into block. The lack of play action, the fact that on 2nd and short we barely take any shots, on 3rd and short we always run the ball. Like it's just there's a lot of schematic problems in my opinion. I don't think it's just if you had a good quarterback to operate this offense, because you could say that, but look at Russell Wilson this year versus last year. Clearly Hackett did not help him. Maybe it's just blind luck that he's better with a better coach, but I don't think so. I think Hackett legitimately has some problems. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about with Clark? Does it nowadays take 2 full years? With Clark, if you do sign him, I do think you should bring in another 3rd guy. Like I said, you bring in Clark, you bring in another mid-tier guy. Not even mid-tier. A guy for $2, $3, $4 million just in case it goes wrong with Clark. You can have a guy hold the fort. But you're not getting much worse than Whitehead. That's the benefit. Even if it's just Ashton Davis, So, win a couple, yeah. Duggar and Baker are freed. I don't think it happens. NY Jets super fan. The Jets have some money, but you got to re-sign Huff. Okay, that's $15 to $20 million, whatever that's going to be. You have to get a tackle. That's going to be $13, $14, $15 million. You have the draft class. That's another $5, $6 million. You got to get 2 D tackles, So can you pay Buda Baker a safety, $14 million a year? Realistically, probably not. So Mike Evans most likely a buck for life. Maybe. So is Jamal Adams. Break down his rehab too. Maybe I'll have him on and just talk about why he's so freaking smart mentally. I love his game. I'm not saying he's a stud, but considering the price they got him for last year, $3.5 million, whatever it was, I liked him a lot. Okay, I'm catching up. I'm only once I catch up to the chat, I'll bounce. Now my dog's freaking hitting the thing again. But bro, that Tunsil gas mask video during the draft was wild. That was wild. But nowadays, is it that bad? Like, no, go smoke weed. Like, cool. But Yeah, having a gas mask is not necessarily beneficial. Like it's not a thing that looks good. Like even if you smoke a little bit of weed, like okay, he smokes a joint, he smokes a blunt, maybe even a bubbler or a bong sweet. But like when it gets to the point where you have to attach it to your face so you can't breathe, maybe it's a little bit overboard, But that shit happens, Like we all hotbox cars when we were 19. At least I did, So I get it. You can never be high enough, But yeah, it's not a good look. Officiating in the league is brutal and idiotic. Look at what happened to the Steelers getting penalized because their center bobbed his head and down during a punt. Yeah, I didn't see it. Again, I barely watch other football now. 13 awful years. And it's been more than that, Dakota. It's been 13 for you, but for other fans, it's been quite a lot longer. Introduce your dog. He's ringing the bell again right now, actually. So actually, hold on. I'm just gonna open the door. Just give me 2 seconds again. Okay. Okay, we're back. The good thing about the wintertime is you can leave the door open. I got to worry about like a raccoon coming in the door or something like that, but there's no bugs. So raccoon, fuck it. I could shoot a raccoon. I can't really shoot a bug. So I like the idea of rotating co-hosts like Tyson, Ryan, and some of the no, it's just this is more film centric. So if I start getting into film plays, like how are if I'm like, hey, I really don't like this guy in a zone scheme, like I don't want to put, and I'm not saying I would necessarily, but do I want to put people out of place? Like, not everybody's film guys. Do I want to bring non-film guys onto a more film centric show? And it's not like I'm breaking down film on the show, but we definitely will get into the film stuff in the show. And I don't want people to be like, yeah, I think the same, or yeah, sure. Okay, like I don't know. It has to be very, very specific person or something like that. I don't know. Rob Calabrese, I don't know. He sits there like solid. He just stares into the abyss. Hackett never chatting with the quarterbacks in the game because he probably doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't want to embarrass himself. The Rangers are legit though. Yeah. We'll see though. Rangers were supposed to be the Devils in the playoffs last year too. They didn't. In 6 years, Zach Wilson has never hit numerous types of throws you see on Sundays. In 6 years, Zach Wilson has never hit numerous type of throws you see on Sundays. He's had a few darts. Like Zach Wilson's arm is not the problem. We know that. Zach Wilson has a legitimate NFL, like a top 10 NFL arm. The whip. All of that stuff, the distance. I'm not talking about accuracy necessarily, and that's a part of it, but his arm strength is very, very legit. So he can hit every throw. Now the difference is, 90% of it's mental. So yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm not gonna say a Pro Bowler if you had A-Rod, but putting Conklin and Uzama is a fail. I agree with you guys. Conklin is much, much better than Uzama. They're not even in the same stratosphere. Like Conklin last year, again, everybody shit on Conklin last year. Terrible offense, terrible quarterback. He was top 10 in receiving yards at tight end. So is he really that bad? And I'm not sure what his numbers are this year, but what has he done that's been bad? Like you can't say, oh, he doesn't get catches, he's bad, because then there's games where Garrett Wilson gets like 3 catches for 30 yards. Is he bad now too? Or maybe it's the offense and maybe it's the quarterback. Bowers, Ruckert, Conklin next season. Imagine that for Rodgers plus more. The thing with that is, Dakota, how often are you going to play 13 personnel? Not enough to make the pick worth it, in my opinion. I think Bowers is like, I'll do the review. I think that's almost a foregone. No, unless you trade Conklin because it's Bauer or something like that. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I thought Huff has fallen off a bit the past few weeks. Yeah, again, transparency. I have not watched the last few weeks, minus last week. And last week he made a few impact plays, maybe not as much as prior to, but that's only one game of sample size. I'm not going to speak so highly on it or so much of it. That's the last memory I have too. Well, it's a chop block, and the route was there for Rodgers. Rodgers' injury is Rodgers' fault. Sorry, and you guys know that it was his fault. The ball was supposed to get out there. It's supposed to get out. Cut blocks, you're supposed to get out it quick. He didn't. He got injured, which almost makes it worse, right? Who would be a surprise cut? Lazard, Tomlinson, Lawson is gone. Yeah, Lawson's not under contract. Tomlinson, again, I think it's like $10 million dead, $8 million from under contract. So is he worth paying $10 million to not be here? Probably not. So I think Tomlinson's back, but a surprise cut. Maybe it could be Tomlinson if they really like a guy in free agency, but then you're really like being kind of loosey goosey with your money. I don't see it happening. I don't see anything surprising right now. Surprising targets. There's financials tied to it. Would you rather? It's again. My brain is lost easily, Marvin. My heart every game I'll say win, but it's a loss for sure. You got to lose. What the benefit? The only benefit of them winning is morale. I'd rather have Marvin Harrison Jr. than morale. I'm sorry, and they're going to try all that stuff. Where in NJ or NJ? Where in New York or NJ are you broadcasting from? I'm from Central Jersey, Middletown, New Jersey, which a lot of people are like weird with, like where they live. It's like, oh my God, now that Momo knows I live in Middletown, New Jersey, he's going to cover 35, 40 square miles of houses and find me. It's like, why are people so weird about that stuff? But yeah, I'm right in the middle of Jersey, Central Jersey. It's a thing. If you don't think so, I don't know. You suck. It's a thing. The North, Central, and South are all very, very different places. There is no just drop. There's no just clear cut North to South thinking. Central's in the middle of both. I don't know. Why is Blewett 31? It's Et. You see the E? That's my number in football. It's realistically, my wife got that for Christmas. Would I maybe put something else there? I don't know, possibly, probably, but my wife got it for me. So am I gonna disgrace her and put a bunch of jet stuff in a room and then not put her the poster she got me? Probably not. It's not a good husband move. So I'll put it there. But yeah, that was my number when I played. I didn't play in college. I went to, I'm not going to say I wasn't smart enough to go to college. I was an asshole at 18, 19, 20 years old, which I think I was streaming a little bit then too. I like to party more than I like to do college. So I didn't go anywhere. I went to community college for an associate's. That's it. Ever upgrade the laptop? No, I just dropped like almost a G on all this other stuff. So I can't do the laptop right now. But I'm going to. It's not going to make a difference. It'll make a difference for me more so than you guys. I did all the upgrade that make a difference for you guys. Like, look at this this thing is crazy, dude. All those lights and shit on it. That's the thing with the sound bites. So that thing is wildly expensive, but it's worth it. The sound I think is a lot better. So I think you guys appreciate the sound and the audio upgrades. I don't want to speak for you, but is it tilted? My thing might be tilted, but we only got a couple minutes left. You and the rest of Jets fans say that Wilson is a horrible QB, but you all keep blaming Hackett. Yes, Tim, it's one or the other. It's one or the other. You can only blame one. That's what I said the entire stream. Only blame one. That's all you could do. Like, just rewind or something. Like, what are we talking about? Would you go all full offensive draft this year? Overreaction? Realistically, it's probably an overreaction because you need a few offensive linemen, a few receivers, but you need some depth at safety. You need some depth at linebacker potentially. You need some depth potentially at defensive tackle. So yeah, sure, go all offense, but we only have 5 picks, so I could easily see them going receiver. Again, no specific order, but receiver, tackle, guard, running back. Like, that's possible. I'm in the camp of draft a running back every year. That's my thinking. There's way too many that hit 5th, 6th, 7th round and not take one and just hope, because next year you're going to have it's Brees and Izzy. That's all you got right now. I can see a running back drafted too. So offensive lineman, receiver, running back. Yeah, sure. Fuck it. Let's go all offense. Tomlinson has been bad. Maybe I missed it, but what happened to Kyle? Yeah, I guess you weren't here for the last stream. The Jets broke Kyle. Kyle is done. I don't know if I don't think he'll ever come back. I think this is probably it for Kyle. He just doesn't have the time for it anymore. It is what it is. So I promise you I won't stalk you. Not my style. I do much fishing in all parts of Jersey. Yeah, a lot of people fish in Highlands, New Jersey. That's my hometown. A lot of people fish so the area. So Highlands. You probably like Sandy Hook. Like that's my area. That's where I'm at. So there's a lot of fishermen who go to Sandy Hook. There'd be people like, oh, I'm from the Bronx. I'm fishing at Sandy Hook or in Highlands. I'm like, why? What the fuck are you doing here? There's no other water. Find other water. Hold on. My chat. Okay. Drew O'Neal. I'm going to finish the comments. Oh, okay. It's almost 7 o'clock. Drew O'Neal. Salah was asked about Zach Wilson and said okay, hold on. Salah was asked about Zach Wilson and said that Saleh was not there yet on Zach. Some guy came in the comments ranting and saying that Zach is not the problem. I don't know. I'm not sure we're trying to get there. I'm going to be honest. Jetted out was wondering why only Jets authentic jerseys are hard to get. If you got a legacy authentic, you're lucky. People selling them on eBay for $1,000. Wow. But I don't think there was authentic Jets authentic jerseys. Oh, I kind of extrapolated that to you talking about the legacy jerseys, which apparently sucked. Like I paid for like the Vapor $170 one, and then people were like, the stitching's not even good and shit. And then Rodgers getting gingered, and I canceled that shit. And I remember canceling it and then like putting out on Twitter that I canceled it, and then people being like, "Oh, like that's not a good fan." It's like, you're telling me $170 purchase on a guy who just got injured for the entire year and canceling that, I'm a bad fan now? What? Hands down, Joe has the best Jets takes on YouTube. Kev, no bias. I appreciate you. And I agree. I don't blame Kyle. We all need to reset. I don't know if Kyle's reset or he's just done. Maybe I'll just like coax him back. I'll just like slowly like send him some funny memes and stuff. Maybe I'll coax him back. Kyle's what I want. Kyle's what I need. Kyle's not here right now. I'm so used to Kyle. I just don't want anybody else really. I don't know. Go find a single pass to receiver moving horizontally across the end zone in 6 years. Lazard touchdown in the Chiefs game. It was a poster. He's moving horizontally at that point. Are you talking about completely? I don't know. Oh my Lord, Joe, this is hilarious. What a dumpster fire Kyle is like. I don't know if that's about either. Whatever. Add the dog to the show with a Kyle name tag. My dog is chill. I actually brought up my dog being the office dog because he doesn't bark. He doesn't bite. He's just super chill and wants to cuddle and play with a ball. As long as you can throw a ball, he's cool with you. He's cool with you. Let's go fishing. Maybe we'll have more luck than we do with the Jets. I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of guys, and especially as they get older, there's a lot of like fishing guys, golf guys. I hate both. I really do. I'm okay with like drinking a little bit on a boat, and like maybe like troll fishing where you just kind of hold it and just let the fish come to you. But I'm not a big fisher. Like I used to fish with like sinkers and stuff for like fluke and like I guess you can fish for a lot of fish, or you could fish for a lot of fish with sinkers, right? But we used to fish for specifically fluke and bluefish when I was a kid. But I haven't fished in probably 15 years. But what has Jermaine Johnson showed you since your original? I said it before, Mega Vegan, decisiveness. That's it, decisiveness. I think he got a little bit slimmer this year, and that's not necessarily by weight, but I think he cut some baby fat off, or just fat in general, and he got slimmer. But the difference between JJ this year and JJ last year, the biggest thing is 100% decisiveness. So, just meant if Salah's not there on Zach, but we're sticking with him and he still sucks, how can people keep justifying Zach? It's black or white, dude. That's why, because people have to. And there is some justification of Zach, and Zach's not necessarily as bad as he's shown at times. But with that being said, he's still not good, right? I don't know. Fans got to stop telling other fans how to fan. Yes, that is true. Completely horizontally never happened. I could definitely think of one. I'll think of one. I can't think of it right now off the top of my head, Joe, but I'll think of one moving completely horizontally. Are you talking like a drag route? It's like very hard to do in a red zone because it's so contested. Okay, well, he hit. No, that was Mike White. I was thinking about the Barrios play in the Vikings. He dropped that. There's one. I'll get you back. Joe, next week. I have to remember. Okay. No, I'm fishing between an iPad Air, iPad 10. I have a MacBook Pro, but I got to get something else. Hey, boss man, what's up? RJ, great point, Joe. Thanks. Okay, I appreciate all you guys. It's 7:00. Jets, Texans, who cares? They're going to play football, probably bad football. I'll be back next week to recap it. I'm sorry that I was gone. We'll continue to make upgrades. I appreciate all you guys.